coming down.
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
Look at Tyson! Haven't got it!
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly, Miller's still start trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry!
Good evening and welcome to the UkSimracers MX5 Season 1 2023 from Round 6 live at Knockhill Circuit. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth by Zach Sweeney this evening, and it's going to be an incredible evening of racing. 2.01 kilometres in length up in Scotland on the outskirts of Dunfermline, and that's where we find the Knockhill Racing Circuit. We have got 20 cars on track for you this evening. Pro-Ams battling away for this season's title, and I think we can bring Mr. Zach Sweeney into the booth. Good evening, Zach. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic, and well, Knockhill, can't wait for it.
Yeah, should be a good one, mate. I think that's going to be the thing. 9 turns. That's not a lot, right? What could go wrong?
It's not. It looks like a bit of a Dorito as well, which is lovely. But it's tight, it's twisty, it's up and down, it's all over the place. It's got some really good corners, and I think it's going to be a pretty perfect matchup for these MX5s because, well, we've seen them almost everywhere. We're going to see them almost everywhere throughout the rest of the season, and well, Knockhill's no different. It's just one of those circuits that, for a car like this, really just goes well like peas in a pod.
Did you say it was shaped like a Dorito?
I did, yeah.
What Doritos are you eating?
Knockhill ones, Scottish ones.
Clearly, because they're not like that where I get mine out of the packet, mate. I'm not going to lie there, but you know.
Well, it's one of the wonky ones, you know.
Oh.
Maybe when you've already taken a bite out of it, all right.
Oh, okay. So you're bitten off the top left down, top right hand corner then, yeah?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
I'm building Knockhill out my Doritos. That's exactly what I'm doing, you're right, yeah.
Okay, excellent stuff. Well, let me know in chat. Welcome in everybody. If you are here for the first time, you can subscribe, turn on the bells, and give the video a big old thumbs up because that'd be amazing. 3.5 minutes left of practice. We've got just enough time to bring you up the current championship standings here in the pros. Daniel Hunt leading the way on 6.72 with John Sylvester sitting in second on 6.45. Pete Van Gaal 6.33. Tom Griffiths 6.31. Jamie Ayres on 6.23. Steve Hefford up 1 on 5.43. Ewan Bramer down 1 on 5.33. Charles Kellerman 4.52. Carl Jacklett 4.41. Ralph Cullinan 3.97. Elise Main 3.74. Miles Owens 2.69. Martin Thompson in 13th on 1.48. And Darren McLean bringing up at the bottom end. In the AMs, we have got Arnold Chagnonier leading the way on 4.16. Darryl Wright in second place on 3.72. Andy Littler in third on 3.27. Steve Hansford in fourth on 2.63. Jordan Syret in fifth on 2.61. Jason Haddington on 2.23. Mick Barry in seventh place on 1.75 with Alan Toon in eighth on 1.60. And Anthony Jacobson down in ninth currently on 1.21. Now in the team championships, Momo are still leading the way on 2.151 with Platinum Racing Team in second on 1.882. Optical Red in third on 1.021. Optical Green at one place on 7.98 over Results Clothing iRacing Team, who dropped down 1 on 7.37. Safeguard by Result up to sixth place on 7.10. Air Smart Racing 6.80. DOF Reality Sim Racing Studio 6.72. And Work Guard by Result on 5.39. So there we go. Okay, last time out, right, it was a bit of an interesting evening at Sandown for the Platinum Racing boys. Well, they threw away a bunch of points in that race last week.
Yeah, they did. There was a lot left on the table. I mean, to be fair, for both Momo and for Platinum, in all fairness, they both could have done a bit more. Obviously, Momo was not necessarily on the pace. You know, they were struggling a little bit, languishing down in terms of pace, had to capitalise a little bit off some incidents and the reverse grid to get them back into contention. Also with that, obviously, the issues that Platinum had. They were so quick, and we saw that throughout the duration of the whole evening. They had the pace and they had the racecraft to succeed, but unfortunately, like we saw off the exit of the final couple of corners, where they just decided that they weren't going to cooperate, and unfortunately threw each other into each other. They cost themselves a good heap of points, and that's probably why they're around about 250 points off the Constructors' Championship lead at the moment, when in reality the gap between Momo and Platinum isn't that big. The championship as it stands should be a lot closer than it is.
Yeah, that was the problem. You know, we had even Raymer, Tom Griffiths, Miles Owens and Carl Jacklett all come together in race 1. And that was, I think they were in 3rd and 4th at the time, battling away as well. And then Ewan Bramer had an incident with Steve Hefford in race 2 as well, so more points thrown away there as well. John Sylvester had an incident in race 3, more points. Bramer had an incident in race 4, more points thrown away. They could have been a lot better off after last week than what they actually were, and I think they're going to go out this week and they've got to be able to communicate with each other about what the situation is. You know, they've got to work together, they've got to try and over jump them in the teams, because let's face it, you know, John Sylvester is second. They could do with him being able to help him out as much as possible as well, with Daniel Hunt, sitting in 1st place. You know, they're behind the Momo boys. Ayres is in 5th, Hefford in 6th, Bramer 7th, Owens in 8th. So that's got to be vitally important, that they've got to tidy up their racing this week. They've got to not make any silly mistakes. Ewan Bramer's got to settle down. He's got to calm down before he goes charging up the inside of people. It's all going to be an interesting one. And just for good health, we're throwing in Knockhill. You know, 9 turns, nothing difficult. Downhill off turn 1, down through 2 and 3 into McIntyre. You know, there's a lot that could go wrong here. And these really Platinum boys have got to not try and throw it away.
100%. You know, today is a really big turning point. Obviously, in the championship, we go towards round 6, the halfway point of the mini 12-round season. There'll be 3 throughout the entirety of the iRacing year, but it starts here, and obviously, this is the first half of the first third of the season. And well, yeah, it's a good turning point. It's a good point to sort of wipe everything clean, and you want to have a good race today so that you can maximize your morale, your confidence going forward, and obviously just wipe everything clean, become anew, and really start smashing in some good results, which is exactly what Platinum needs, particularly sort of John Sylvester. I mean, a couple of weeks ago he was leading the championship before the drop rounds took place. Obviously after that, Daniel Hunt got Brands Hatch dropped, which catapulted himself back into the championship lead, but even then it's not actually that big of a gap. Only 27 points to the gap between Daniel Hunt and John Sylvester. There's not much in it at all, so Platinum boys can sort of, you know, they can as you said, communicate. I mean, they're all in the voice chat together. If they just talk to each other, if they just work out a strategy, stick to that plan. Most importantly, I think, you know, besides helping each other out, you know, the bottom line is don't crash into each other.
And that's kind of the first rule of racing, isn't it, that we come across, regardless, you know, whether you're doing karting, whether you're doing online, whether you're doing anything. Your first port of call is always don't crash into your teammate. And they did that last week. Bramer and Owens come together. You know, they've got to try and avoid that. The weather is on your right-hand side there as well. You can see we've got 19 degrees track temperature at the moment. And as we can see, Andy Littler just go past them very, well, decorative bollards there on the chicane comment as well, so they're not really doing a whole lot through turn 5 and turn 6 apart from providing some nice decorations on the side of the circuit. Times around about 55 seconds for practice. We're hitting 56 early on as well. I don't think, you know, that's going to stay where they're at. I wouldn't be surprised if that come down at least another second or more, but overall it's all about what these guys are going to be able to do and see how they get on. The times are going to come through thick and fast here, guys. So we will give it a minute to settle down here. But as I say, welcoming everybody. Vic Zanderick, I would love to be able to read out what you said, but I have no idea what that says. Zach, over to you.
Yeah, no. I think the last one he's talking to Ewan Bramer. I think it's Dutch. I've picked that apart. Maybe the last one is good luck, Ewan Bramer, maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know.
That sounds about right,
Dutch.
though.
I don't speak Dutch, so I couldn't tell you.
No.
Yeah.
Me neither on that one. No idea, but the times have come across the line. Tom Griffin's got the time down to the 55.3, which is what we were expecting it to come down to. Miles Owens in second, Jamie Ayres third, Daniel Hunt in fourth. Of course, AM and Pros. We've got the AMs in the blue or the teal or whatever relatable colour you want to call it, and the Pros in the yellow. Okay, so stay tuned for that one. As you can see, currently Darryl Wright leading the AMs, Tom Griffiths leading the Pros. 11 minutes on clock. The times are going to start coming down a little bit more, and then they start dropping off around about the 5-6 minute mark remaining. People not improving, hitting that bench, that ceiling almost of where they're at, and they're not able to improve. But for a very short circuit, this is quite a hairy circuit. I'm not going to lie. I've driven Knockhill in these MX5s, and as we come down into turn one, it just kind of drops off an edge of a cliff. It's like, well, there you go. And then you got that tricky left to go through to the tricky right. And then you've got to kind of floor it all the way through and straight line this chicane as much as possible, taking out the bollards on the inside. As I say, I'm all there for decorative purposes. And as we can see there, Jamie Ayres in front doing some nice off-roading. And then you're hard on the brakes again. Oh, to try and get it round. He's got to try and move. There you go. And then you got this, well, I'm not going to say long run, Zach. What would we class it? A mini run? It's not really a big, massive long run that we've seen at the likes of Road Atlanta and Road America and places like that. And then they've got this tight right-handed to finish up. Knockhill is a tricky circuit.
100%. It's, yeah, as you said, it's only 9 corners, but they are 9 tricky corners. We'll give it that. I mean, obviously through turns 1 and 2, you, as you said, you fall off a cliff. Essentially, the car goes completely weightless. You know, the suspension decompresses a little bit, it relaxes, and then obviously as soon as it plateaus again, as soon as you hit that dip, everything comes back to it. You've got all the grip in the world. There's a lot of medium speed corners. The final corner, quite a heavy braking zone relative to Brands Hatch, to Knockhill. Obviously for a track this size, it's quite a heavy braking zone. Obviously quite uphill as well, so it's all about that run through the pitch straight that you have to be mindful of. There are so many different things that you're having to think about around Knockhill. The most important one is not to bin it off into the gravel, which is so easily done, like through the quick flick to the right just after this chicane right here. So easy for things to go wrong because, well, the track does tighten up a little bit. It's quite wide going in. Well, that's one way to really mess things up on the exit of the up left-right chicane. I don't really know. There's so much you could say about it. You could be here all day waffling about how tricky I keep going to say Brands Hatch. I don't know why. About how tricky Knockhill is as a circuit, because you look left, there's grass, there's gravel. You look right, there's grass, there's gravel. You look in front of you, there's probably another corner for you to battle your way uphill through. It's just a mountainous challenge to tackle, and in some cases, it quite literally is a mountain that you have to climb.
Yeah, it definitely is. There's so many places that this could go wrong here this evening. Through turn 1 and 2, definitely. Dropping off through McIntyre in 3, absolutely. Coming down through 5 and 6, you're going to try and take the chicane too wide. One of you is going to be pushing the gravel. There's just no room. It's just not possible. Going up through 8, they can't really go wrong on that looping. I want to call it a left-hander. It's not really a straight, but it's not really a turn. It's kind of a long gradient left-hander between 7 and 9, and then of course coming into 9 you've got that hard braking zone. So there's a lot of places that they could go, you know, horribly wrong here, and I'm hoping these 20 amazing drivers are able to get through these races successfully, because we've seen the battling within the UK SimRacers. We've seen how it can turn out. We've seen how close they end up as well. They haven't got that room at Knockhill. They can't play as close as they normally do.
But fortunately, they are in the MX5, which is a very raceable car, and obviously it can take a bit of ding-dong and you'll be fine. It's quite a narrow car, quite an agile car. It's pretty much the perfect bit of machinery to take round Knockhill. It's almost what the circuit is made for. Obviously, one of the smaller sized club-style circuits, similar obviously to sort of Cadwell or Alton Park, in that sort of vein. Perfect for these little nippy MX5s to battle their way through. You know, they're not overly powerful, they're not overly aerodynamically capable, as two people make the exact same mistake, one a little bit more than the other, working their way through obviously into turn 5 and 6. But you know, I think we are still going to see some good racing here today. I think these cars allow them to, these drivers allow them to, you know, go for those moves. There's great respect given between everyone. The times themselves are very, very close, which is going to invite people to want to go for said moves. But I guess, yeah, in some cases, they are going to have to be a little bit mindful of, obviously, those around them. But more so, it's a very momentum-based track. You go from one corner straight into another corner, hop, skip, and a jump. And if you sort of ruin that by going side by side, you can lose a lot of time. So I think today is really going to be a test of racecraft and separate the good from the great in that sense, because it's not just a case of sending moves to the inside. You really have to think and be quite clever about how you make those moves.
Yeah, definitely is as well. We saw Mick Barry take turn 1 on 2 wheels there as well. And he dropped down the hill like an absolute banshee to come into that right-hander. And it is very tricky. I'm not going to lie. I've driven this circuit in the MX5. That can happen quite easily, as we've just saw there as well. Miles Owens goes up into 4th place. Not a bad gain from here. I said it about the 6-minute mark for qualifying. No real improvements going on. Everybody's done their fastest laps, I suppose, in the first half of qualifying. Mick Barry's was going quicker until we've just seen him have that little sideways moment, of course. This chicane as well is another tricky area. So easy to get it off track. So easy to get a slowdown. It's just full of places where it could just go wrong. And that's what I love about Knockhill. And it can cope with TCRs, it can cope with MX5s, little Clios, anything along them lines. You know, the bigger cars, I think, GT3s and stuff, I wouldn't put here. LMP2s, LMDHs, definitely not. But can you imagine an LMDH around here? That would be interesting.
I'd love it.
Yeah.
Go for like an IMSA-style race around Knockhill.
Yeah, no, that could
Brilliant.
go wrong. Tom Griffiths has improved on a 55.022, cements that first place there. But it is made for these type of cars, isn't it? It is TCR, MX5, Clios, smaller cars, and this is what you can get. This is going to be Knockhill, and it's going to be a great evening of racing.
100%. As I said, it's more of a club style circuit, like Cadwell, like Alton, like Brand, like etc. etc. That is commitment. Obviously not the quickest way round that chicane, but definitely one of the coolest from Miles Owens. Fair play. But yeah, low power, low downforce. You know, maybe front wheel drive, but obviously the MX5s aren't front wheel drive. But that sort of vein, that sort of class of racing, if you like, that really does breed quite well around Knockhill, because as you say, you can't really afford to have much else go around here. Otherwise, yeah, could you imagine, say, like the W12 coming around here, going through turns 1 and 2? Yeah, no chance, absolutely not. It'd have to crawl around here. So yeah, these cars, you can chuck them into the corners, you can go side by side and not completely throw everything away. Yeah, as I said countless times already, it is going to be a good night of racing. It's going to be a very interesting one. Obviously, consistency, I think, though, is going to be the be-all and end-all of tonight.
Yeah, definitely is there as well. Now, we're talking about W12s around here, mind you. No, I did the LSR League earlier on this season, and they chucked the W12s around Parfitt. Now, now, that's the thing we had when the schedule come out. We were like, ooh. But it was out of the field of 20 cars. There was only one person that binned it in the mountain section in the W12, and they were going around the mountain section in 7th gear. It was insane. Absolutely incredible racing there as well. So you can go check that out. That is all down in the video links below. You check on the playlist, click for LSR RL W12 series, and you will see them go round Barfirst. It is absolutely unbelievable the amount of times they go through the mountain, chucking it in 7th gear. 3.5 minutes remaining at the moment. We've got Tom Griffiths sitting on pole on a 55.02, nearly so close to the 54s, but I think that's probably about the maximum we're going to get out of these cars.
100%. I don't really think you can eke much more out. Definitely not in the sort of the next coming minutes that they've got left of the session. Obviously, they've had the first part of the majority of the session to get those improvements. Obviously, you do your first cycle lap. Everyone's been there. You load into the session. You do one cycle lap. Next time by, you go, say, half a second quicker. Beyond that, you've refined it a little bit, and now it's just a case of finding those marginal improvements, which is what's going on right now. People have hit their ceiling, and now it's just a case of refining it, finding 1,000th of a second here, braking a little bit later here, getting on the power a little bit earlier here to find those little improvements. And unless you get every single corner to that very, very fine margin of optimization, you're not actually going to be able to improve your lap time, particularly around a 56-second lap or a 55-second lap, like Knockhill. So I think Tom Griffiths has definitely set the standard in that regard. I am, however, surprised that the gap for pole at the moment is over 1/10 of a second. And you might be saying, that's insane, that's really close. But I honestly expected quite closer for Knockhill.
I think it might have done as well. I don't think Jamie Ayres is going to be making any improvements anytime soon, mind you. So it's going to be interesting here. I think 55.02 is where we're going to be at, and I think Tom Griffiths is going to take pole. Jordan Surrett was improving last time out, not improving as much at this moment in time either. So unfortunately for Jordan there, his good lap went out the window. He had that same middle, he had the same end as well. How's he going to get on? 56.986. He does improve, doesn't go any further up the order there, unfortunately either. So 1 minute 30 on the clock. You can see how they're coming down that mountain. It is almost like a mountain section. You just literally nose deep, drop off, and away you go. And hopefully by the time you get down to the left-hander, all four wheels have hit the ground again, and you're able to turn it. But GT, welcome in as well. Rough Riders Den Haag. Again, not entirely sure what that means. But
we're English, mate. We honestly, there's no chance.
No, not a hope. Me and Google Translate.
We go to foreign countries and we speak English just loudly and slowly, and we get by. It's as simple as that. Other than that, we just don't understand what you're saying. We're lazy. We're very lazy English people.
Yeah, but it's easy. They say English is easier to learn than the likes of French, Spanish, Dutch, and so on and so forth. You know, French is impossible because the pronoun, the male, the female, the past, the present, the future language just, yeah, beats me every time. And, you know, when it's your natural language like Dutch and stuff, it does make it simple in a way. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure it's sometimes impossible for people to learn English when you don't speak it. But for us native tongue English people, learning a foreign language, unless we're sat out in the country 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it's not going to happen, I'm afraid. And I know we might sound very narrow-minded, but it is quite tough there as well, especially for me. I'm older. You know, I'm older than Zach. It takes a while to get things settled in. But here is the pole for race one. Tom Griffiths will take pole position. Jamie Ayres in second. John Sylvester third. PVG in fourth, of course, our Dutch gentleman. Steve Hefford in fifth. Miles Owen sixth. Ewan Bramer, another Dutch gentleman into there in the grid. Daniel Hunt eighth. Martin Sampson ninth. Carl Jackal at 10th. Arnold Chagnon 11th. And Ralph Cullenham down in 12th. Beyond that, we've got Darrell Wright, Elise Main, Mick Barry, Charles Kellerman, Jordan Sirey, Andy Littler, Steve Hansford and Alan Toon round out the back end of the field there as well. So we're going to be underway very, very shortly. And again, I need to correct something because somehow it's managed to change, which really quite annoys me. So just bear with me here. There we go. Job done. Happy days. We are going to be underway very, very shortly here as well. The lights will be coming on. We're just waiting for Elise Main to get on to the grid. And then we're going to be ready here once more. Settling down with Tom Griffiths on pole for this, well, 15-minute race at Knockhill, and then a top 12 reverse for race 2. Then we chase sessions, go into race 3 and 4. And once again, we do random reverses there as well. But Elise Main, the American, of course, now the flag is, well, changed, which is great. And we're going to be ready to go. So let's see how we get on. Hopefully there shouldn't be any issues, and Elise Main will get on as we have a look around Tom Griffiths' pole position car there. They do look very nice when you scan them around like that, I'm not going to lie. They look very, very gorgeous. Little MX5s. I know another young lady I know of, Martina Ward, drove a MX5 for the first time in real life. That was up at Croft over the weekend. Here we go, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are underway, and Tom Griffiths got the downhill start there as well. Better get away than anyone else. Jamie Ayres in second, John Sylvester third, PVG fourth, Steve Hefford currently sitting in 5th place. And here we go, for the first time this evening, plummeting what can only be described down the hill, and then into the latter part of the lap they go. Round turn 3, 4, coming into 5 and 6 now as well. How is this all going to work out here, Zach? Everybody at the moment seems to have made it through cleanly.
Yeah, so fair play to all of them. Everyone may be on the more cautious side, but Tom Griffiths getting off to a fantastic start. He's obviously going to want to seize control of this moment right here. He's got the next 14.5 minutes to defend, but crucial thing is he's kept his pole position, he's got the track position, and now it's just a case of trying to defend from Jamie Ayres, who's already on to the offensive into the final corner. And Griffiths, fortunately for him, already has it covered off. Jamie Ayres, however, you can tell is already looking feisty. It's not even the open lap done and dusted yet, and he already had a look into the final corner. I think we've got a pretty good fight on our hands here, James.
Yeah, it's going to be a great one to start off with as well. Time's a minute off the clock. Here we go for lap 2. And it is still Tom Griffith. Oh, PVG's out. Did he hold it? No, he's taken Steve Efford with him. Oh, no. We were just talking about don't hitting your teammate. PVG got out of control, and unfortunately the Flying Dutchman, as we call him, has now taken out his teammate Steve Efford and dropped Steve Efford down 8 places, all the way down into 13th there. And that is what we were talking about, Zach.
That is what the Platinum Boys do not want to do, and fortunately for them, I suppose, is what the Moment Boys have managed to do. And, well, Daniel Hunt has moved himself ahead now up into P3. Jamie Ayres has lost a couple of places, while the Moment Boys of Pete Van Gool and obviously Steve Efford were sorting each other out. There's a wide moment just in the background as well. That's going to promote Mick Barry up a place, also side by side right here with Arnaud Chagnon and Ralph Cullinan. They work their way too wide in towards the chicane of turns number 1 and 2. You can see on trying to go the outside, that's probably not going to be the best way through for the Frenchman, who just decides to tuck into toe, which is probably the best thing to do around the outside there. It's probably not going to work, and oh my word, we got some carnage down here, James.
Yeah, Daniel Hunt looks like he went off track, looked like possibly could have got a slowdown there, and has dropped himself behind Ewan Bramer and John Sylvester. So Jamie Ayres is the surviving front runner of the Momo, and it is a platinum sandwich here as well. But Daniel Hunt running side by side alongside, currently at the moment, with Miles Owens. Owens is going to have the inside line for turn 9, of course, and he's going to be able to try and push him out a little bit more. Ewan Bramer's got to get on the back as well. He's got to be trying to help out Owens as much as possible. This is where we're going to afraid of. We're looking at 2 banks of 2, constantly going down into a tight right-hander. It isn't always going to work. Fastest lap, Steve Efford, 55.73. They settle back in, one by one, going around turn 1, down the hill. They've got to be hard on the brakes as soon as they can get that car straight. And trust me, if they don't, that kitty litter on the left-hand side there will become a big part of their evening here as well on lap 4, Zach.
Yeah, that's obviously the big part of your evening that you don't want a part of your evening, because yeah, it will ruin it very quickly. You do not want to be out there in the kitty litter. There's the move to the inside. Steve Efford trying to recover very quickly. He looked to the inside of trying to make his way past Darrell Wright, to no avail on that particular occasion, but well, he's fueled with motivation and doesn't want to lose any more points than he has to after contact with his teammate a couple of laps ago. Inside line for turn number 9, and while he gets given a nice wide berth by Darrell Wright, which is nice respect. And oh well, there's carnage in front of him. That's 2 places for free. Caused a bit of a traffic jam. Don't do that. Oh my word. Charles Kellerman, I think, having to take to the grass to avoid them. That is, well, probably the last thing you want to see as you rise up the hill through turn 9.
Yeah, Carl Jacklett there, done and dusted. What happened to Carl? There you go, you can see him there with your blue wheels. Comes into the final corner. Oh, tap from Ralph Cullinan. Cullinan goes round. Mick Barry goes straight into him. The guy's trying to go round. That's Elise Main taking evasive action. Is on the grass now as well, but that's Mick Barry and Carl Jacklett coming together at turn 9, and unfortunately for Jacklett and Barry, they're both into the pits. Jordan Syret fighting away with Darrell Wright. Again, the same rules apply. Don't take out your teammate. Both boys from the Safeguard by Result team here as well. PVG is just trying to clear Andy Litlow. He's got Elise Main in front of him now. Of course, he's trying to come back through the field after his early incident, all at the same time. Tom Griffiths has lost a bunch of places, down 5 to Ewan Bramer there, and he went off track, Zach, and unfortunately he's now down in 7th place.
Yeah, he was leading, lost the place to John Sylvester, and then it just tumbled from there. He now finds himself in 7th place. John Sylvester with a nice hefty cut back to Jamie Ayres. Let's give it some credit for that. 3 seconds now that he's got to control this race. We said he had to capitalise on this race and close the gap to Daniel Hunt. He's doing exactly that. Fortunately for Daniel Hunt, he sat there in third, minimising the damage, of course, but still just over halfway left to go of race number 1. Still a lot can happen, and Griffiths is going to be fueled. Van Gool is moving his way past up Elise Main up to 14th place. You can see on the movements on the timing tower, and so far in this race, James, there's been nothing but movement on the timing tower.
Yeah, definitely has as well. It's all been about recovery. PVG and obviously Steve Hefford are trying to recover their way through after PVG's incident through turn 2. Martin Sampson is trying to come back through. He's trying to hold off currently Tom Griffiths. Griffiths trying to make a move as well after being off tracked, and unfortunately he's dropped all the way down into 7th place. Cullinan trying to catch up currently at the moment. Hefford's fighting away with Arnold Chandonnier, your current leader of the AMS, as they come rushing through turn 4, through turn 5, turn 6. Hefford's carried a lot more speed. Is he going to have that inside line? Down into turn 7, into Clark he goes. He does. He makes it through this time around, and that's Steve Hefford recovered back to another place there as well, as Darrell Wright is fighting with Charles Kellerman.
Ouch. Is all you can really say with that. That was the smallest bit of contact, and unfortunately Charles Kellerman got the worst end of it. There's not really much room before you hit a barrier. Here we go with Martin Sampson versus Tom Griffiths. Griffiths trying to recover now to the inside as they run their way into the sweepers of turns 1 and 2, as Griffiths got the overlap to convincingly go side by side. They're going to go for it. Sampson, holds his nerve and stays to the outside line. There's no way through for Griffiths on this occasion.
Yeah, it definitely could have been a different story there as well, depending on how up the side Griffiths got. That could have been a different story. The Platinum boys are doing what they need to do. John Sylvester out in front by nearly 3 seconds over this man, Jamie Ayres there, who's trying to push him as much as he can. Last time out, 55.74 for Ayres, 55.72 for John Sylvester. Daniel Hunt is under attack from Miles Owens. Owens is just about to send it out the inside of 9, and that's another place gained. So it's Platinum 135. That's not bad.
Absolutely not. They're loving life today, I think, as obviously Daniel Hunt wants the first span into the works, makes it 145 if he can. He's going to have a bit of a look, pulls out late to the right-hand side, gives him the inside, sends the move, so close to contact as they run their way side by side through turn 1 and 2. Sideways goes Owens, but gets the move signed and sealed. Does Hunt the up and under potentially for Owens, but Daniel Hunt covers that off. He gets himself onto the podium. Ewan Bramer onto the scene, and the last time Owens and Bramer got close, James, it didn't quite end so well. Yeah,
there was Griffiths involved in that one last time out, though, mind you, and he's a little bit further back with Carl Jacklett, of course. So Jacklett having his own issues there as well. Daniel Hunt looks like he may have got possibly, I thought he might have had a slowdown, but he took the defensive run into 9. Owens is going to try and send it around the outside. He needs Bramer to give him a push here to help him out as best as he can. He's got to try and get up alongside Owens. He needs to be using Owens. You don't need to try and use your teammate, use Daniel Hunt. You want to get up and push Miles Owens as best you can here to try and make sure that you can get that inside line with him, because if he gets Daniel Hunt off it, there's no reason why Bramer can't follow him through. The door's going to be wide open. Like now, if he was behind Owens, he could have followed. To say that Owens goes in a little bit deep, he's going to come back on track right in front. And flashbacks to Sandown. That's all I had.
I was about to say, my heart stopped for a moment as we got, what is this? Hunt all the way back down to Cullinan. The fight for third extends all the way to 8th. Lovely bit of train here, but obviously Miles Owens is, going to be counting as lucky stars, not getting smashed into the back by his teammate. Very, very close between all of them. Bit of movement in the back as Tom Griffiths tries to move his way to the inside of Sampson. No changes, though, for the most part. Once again, off the exit of turn number 9, and it's, the case of the slipstream race with Hunt versus Owens. Who has the advantage? I don't really think either of them have much extra to really do anything with, so it's just going to stagnate, be a bit of a stalemate for now. But you have to say any mistake and they're all going to be in each other's case. But I have to say, great respect between Hunt and Owens for being able to maintain side by side through turns 1 and 2, not on just one occasion but on 2 occasions. That takes a lot of respect, a lot of guts between 2 very, very fierce rivals as well. So obviously respect to them, and every time they go through that chicane, James, I have the exact same reaction.
Ooh. But it's partly because he puts it up in the air. I think that's the thing. When they go through, they literally launch that car up in the air. And, you know, from Tom Griffiths' point of view as well, they're so close. The fear of going through that chicane and not landing the other side and being able to keep it on track. If Daniel Hunt does it, it's going to be a chain reaction. It's going to be like if you set a firework off and then you put it onto another one, it's just going to go bang, bang. And that's what's going to happen. And Griffiths is trying to go up the inside here as we look on top of this MX5. We've got our nose in front. Samson's got to give us room now. We are alongside. We're at that last. Oh, Griffiths backs out. Is he going to be able to hold it down the hill? Coming into the right-hander of turn 3. He is holding it. He's got a better run as well. He's got the better run. He's not. Surely not. Samson's got to back out. And he has done, and that's allowed Tom Griffiths up into 6th place there as well. And at the moment, for Martin Sampson, he's got Ralph Cullinan back up behind him. Charles Kellerman has gone off and into the wall and is now into the pits, unfortunately for him, on lap 11 here. 3.5 minutes remaining. And now it's Cullinan and Sampson and Daniel Hunt leading the way currently at 3rd place. Up 5 places there, Zach. Not a bad evening for Daniel Hunt at all.
Absolutely not. He's one of those drivers that no matter what, he will maximise the results. Unfortunately, 3rd is probably the cap because John Sylvester, Jamie Ayres, a little bit in a land of their own. You can see 3 seconds between Sylvester and Ayres, and then obviously a further 4 back to Hunt in 3rd. So he's got to try and maintain the podium, but still, as the championship leader, that's exactly what you want. You know, you sometimes settle for positions. You think, yeah, right, Sylvester's winning, sure, but I'm sat here in 3rd. That's the best I'm going to get. It's going to look up for the rest of the evening. That's exactly what Hunt can do, is he knows where to put the car and obviously maximise his points where possible, because there's no need for him to try and close the gap 4 seconds, because chances are it's not going to happen in the short amount of time he's got left. So he's driving the car sensibly, he's keeping it under control, and he's going to bring home 3rd place, which, as I say, is exactly what he needs to do in a championship as fierce as this. There's the rest of the evening to score more points, to get more wins, and, well, he's got to win in every single round so far, bar Brands Hatch, where, well, we know exactly what happened to Brands Hatch for Daniel Hunt, but every round that's counted towards the championship, Hunt has always had a race victory, and that speaks volumes about him as a driver. But right now, he's got to defend this podium because, well, Miles Owens, you can have to say, he's not really left Hunt alone at all, and he's waiting, really, for that one sniff of an opportunity to find his way back through.
Yeah, I think it's going to be trying to just keep that gap down below that 4/10 mark, which it is currently at the moment. You can see how fierce they go through the chicane. You can see how fierce they're coming now. Here they come. They go round the back marker. That, I believe, was possibly Alan Toon sandwiched in there. And here comes Miles Owens now. He's going to be trying to take the outside line. He needs that help again from Ewan Bramer, who's got to try and get up behind Miles Owens. He's got his own problems, though, with Tom Griffiths. He's got to position that car Bramer did in the middle of the track. Owens round the outside. Is he going to be able to maintain it? Hunt's got the inside line. He needs help. You've got to push him. He's got to try and get out in front as well. Griffiths is going to go as well. They're going to be 2 by 2. It's Noah's Ark with the animals, just with the MX5s. Here we go down into turn 1 as well. Is Owens going to make it around the... Oh! Plastic surgeon for Daniel Hunt. His nose is on the chopping block and it's already gone. Griffiths did clear Bramer that time around, but boy, oh boy, Zach, that could have gone the way that we've been talking about with that natural disaster there with them 3 cars.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my friend Jack Tritton, he's been here in sidecars. He went flying off at turns 1 and 2, literally found himself rolling over and over again into the gravel chaps. It can so easily go wrong. They're side by side in the background with Ewan Bramer and Martin Sampson go side by side into the final corner. It goes the way of Bramer for now, but the optical car's got the run on the inside. The sweeping nature of turn 9, the uphill climb as well, means the outside line can be a little bit more beneficial, which is why Ewan Bramer is able to retain his 6th place. But right now, Miles Owens is up to 3rd place, and he's got Hunt now very much on the hunt. He wants to reclaim that 3rd place, once again reclaim said 3rd place and find himself back through. Very, very close once more. He almost had a bit of a look into turn number 3, but, well, they're back to back to back, bumper to bumper to bumper. You couldn't really separate them by much less, and Griffiths is very much on the scene. Griffiths, I have to give it to him, has done really well, and if he can maybe salvage a podium out of this, then fair play to him.
Yeah, definitely there as well, as the leader is coming round turn 9. I think we're going to have probably one more lap here with your leader, John Sylvester. There is John there. Believe he should just about, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, white flag lap we go. Barney's waving. We've got one more attempt here, and Tom Griffiths is alongside Daniel Hunt on the outside. Miles Owens is coming up past car number 57. That is the back marker of Steve Hansford, who is going to get swamped. He's going to make it 3 wide. Oh, no!
Oh, even more. There's one of the Platinum cars without a front end, goes side by side with Griffiths, who's found himself in 5th, and that's exactly what traffic can do. We don't often see it in 15-minute races, but, well, when it does happen, these guys are so desperate, they're so close together that something like that was bound to happen. It sort of put an end to this fight right on the final lap.
Oh, do you know what, right? Now, you know I'm an advocate of where blue flags should take place and what that should have materialised as well. That's, from my point of view, and maybe I'm wrong, and possibly could be wrong, as John Sylvester is going to come across the line and takes the victory. I'll get back to my story in a minute. Jamie Ayres in 2nd. Miles Owens comes over the hill in 3rd. Daniel Hunt 4th. Bramer 5th. Hefford 6th. Sampson 7th, 8th. Cullinan will be in 9th as well. From my perspective, right, on that one, I'm kind of guessing that this shouldn't have really been an issue here. And I may be exceptionally wrong about now, but that green car there could have backed off at that point. Right? No need. And that's the thing. And this is where I get myself in trouble, and this is where I end up in the steward's booth for explaining my actions. But no need to run down into that turn. You're blue flagging it.
I mean, in all fairness, there wasn't really any need to send the move to the inside as well. I mean, I get there's desperation. Naturally, there's going to be that form of desperation, final lap, fighting for podium, etc. But you have to think, obviously, in Hansford's mind, that you know, there's 5 cars behind me. If I pull over to the right and slow down, one of them is bound to pull out and smash into the back of me at some point. I don't know. That's my opinion. But, well, here's how they eventually racked up after race 1.
In the pros, on their final heat was John Sylvester being in 1st place. Jamie Ayres in 2nd. Miles Owens is 3rd. Daniel Hunt 4th. Tom Griffiths 5th. Ebon Bramer 6th. Steve Hefford 7th. Martin Sampson 8th. Ralph Cullinan 9th. Arnold Chagnon, the leader of the AMS, in 10th place. Pete Van Gool 11th. Darryl Wright 12th. Elise Main 13th. Jordan Syrick 14th. Andy Littler 15th. Sir Alan Toon 16th. Steve Hansford 17th place. Charles Kellerman is down in 18th there, and along behind that is Carl Jacklett and Mick Barry. And I don't know. Maybe I look at things in different ways, but I just yeah. I don't know, Zach. For me, that could have been a lot of an easier move.
It could have been avoided 100%. It didn't have to go down how it did.
No.
But lap traffic's always a bit iffy. I don't really know, unless you literally look at it 100 times, dissect it from every single camera angle. You're not really necessarily going to get the overall best picture that you possibly could. I don't know. I mean, I see what you mean. It's sort of about if it was blue flagged and he pulled over and slowed down, then maybe it could have been avoided. But is the straight long enough for everyone to get through? Would he have had to slam on the anchors? Would something have happened? I'm sure in Hansford's mind, he was doing right by him. He didn't necessarily want to cause a massive issue, but yeah, I don't know. It could go either way. I think maybe the cars on the lead lap could have been less aggressive. Hansford maybe could have slowed down a little bit. I don't know. There's 2 sides to the coin here.
Now let's have a chat with Steve Hefford there as well. Steve finished in 7th place in race 1 after, unfortunately, Pete Van Gool did lose control, dropping down and hitting Steve there as well. Let's get Steve's opinion on the situation. Steve, welcome in. Hope you're well.
Yeah, not bad, thank you. Better than last week.
Well, yeah, you could say that, but there was also moments with Pete Van Gool as well.
Yeah, I was talking about my bike, but yeah,
okay,
I mean, I was really unlucky. I mean, to be fair, it's so easy to do there on the first 2, even 3 or 4 laps, because it's such a short lap. Your tyres out up to 10, and if you just overcook it on the way in, it's just a world of pain. There's nothing you can do because you're downhill, the camera's against you. I actually shouted to him to tell him that he had space to rejoin if he could save it, kind of thing, you know. And I was gonna just lift and let him back in, but yeah, he'd gone too far. And then I couldn't slow any more than I did, so I ended up spinning him round.
Yeah, but overall, though, you know, you battled your way back to 7th place. Not a bad start. Top 12 reverse. So, all in all, there's pros and cons coming out of it. Obviously, the con is obviously teammate incident.
Yeah. Well, I think on if you look on the law of averages, he probably owed me one, to be fair. So we'll call it quits now.
Definitely will be going forward, Steve, into race 2. You know, very tricky Knockhill with the reverse as well. You know, the likes of Sylvester and that coming through. How tricky is it here at Knockhill?
Very, very tricky. It's really hard to overtake as well, unless someone makes a mistake. Really tricky. So it's just, yeah, it's a case of watching your own sort of lines and trying to make the most of people making mistakes in front. Probably the exit of the chicane maybe is a decent place, and if you're committed through the next to last, that's another one. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Just gonna, as usual, try and finish all the races, really.
Yeah, absolutely, Steve, as well. Thank you so much for joining us there, bud. I'll pop you back in the Momo room, and I'll speak to you probably later on at some point. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Take care. Well, there we go. That was Steve Hefford there. To be fair, it was in quite good spirit, Zach, considering he had that incident with PVG.
He always is, to be fair, when he comes in. He's always a little bit lively. Maybe on the inside he's tearing himself apart. I don't know. But at least he's fronting okay, and he looks to be in good spirits, which is good. I mean, him and Pete Van Gaal probably, you know, talk a lot on a regular basis as teammates. They work together a lot. There's no bad blood or anything like that. It's just looking forward, trying to maybe not stay as close to the road of PVG this race. I don't know. But yeah, I'm sure he's confirmed all our hypothesis about Knockhill being very difficult. But, well, that was a given anyway. And, well, looking forward for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, here's the grid for race 2. Darrell Wright is in first. PVG second. Arnold Chonier third. Rav Cullinan fourth. Martin Sampson fifth. Steve Hefford 6th. Ewan Bramer 7th. Tom Griffiths 8th. Daniel Hunt 9th. Miles Owens 10th. Jamie Ayres 11th. John Sylvester is in 12th. Elise Main 13th. Jordan Sire at 14th. Andy Littler 15th. Sir Alan Toon 16th. Steve Hansford 17th. Charles Kellerman 18th. Carl Jacklett 19th. And Mick Barry down in 20th place. I read that very quickly, partly because they're on the pole, ready to go. The lights are going to be coming on as well. 5 lights. Here we go once more for race 2. Darrell Wright didn't really move when the lights dropped. He has maintained the lead, but only just, mind you, as he's running down into turn 1 now as well. There's battling around behind him. People shifting around, trying to find a gap. PVG does take the lead early on as well. Let's see if he can hold it as these cars go rushing down now. And unfortunately for them, it all banks up into turn 3. Nearly an incident with Ralph Cullinan there. Unfortunately, he makes it through fine as well. All 20 cars at the moment is through and dusted. Alan Toon and Jordan Sirett did unfortunately come to croppers, and they're the only ones that have not made it through the first few corners.
Yeah, an unfortunate start for some, but, well, considering how reverse grid's going, that's actually not too bad of a result. Side by side here between Ewan Bramer and Martin Sampson. Also in the background, Tom Griffiths trying to make some moves. This is a bit of a kerfuffle into turn number 9 for the first time. You can see side by side as they go through. There we go, nipping his way to the inside there with Sampson. Beautiful stuff. And as they rise up the hill towards the pit straight, great bit of racing still. Steve Hefford managing to get himself up into P5. Well, look at this. This is just a huge gaggle of cars. Who do you call? What to name? And there's moves going on everywhere. Nearly 3 wide into turns 1 and 2. Almost backing out of it. Daniel Hunt probably thinking better of it versus Sampson and Bramer. But good bit of racing. A good way to conclude the first lap and head us on to the second.
Definitely as well. Ralph Cullen has made that move past Darrell Wright. Have Steve Hefford as well. Big shout out to the Rough Riders. I have seen your message. I was getting there, Philip. Big shout out, or Philippe, no, fake. How'd you say that? Big Vanderik. There we go. Let's just go with Vanderik. I could say the last name. So big shout out to you guys. Welcome in to as well into the JPB YouTube channel. See all the cars here coming down now. There's like almost 3 wide as well. How is this one going to pan out? Is it going to work? Jamie Ayres is in there as well. Tom Griffiths fighting as well. Miles Owens got a little bit of a slide over. John Sylvester trying to make his way back through in the top 12 reverse. He hasn't gone anywhere. He's still where he is currently at this moment in time. Steve Everett trying to get a hold of Ralph Cullinan. Martin Sampson just cleared Darrell Wright. Ewan Bramer coming round now as well. Daniel Hunt, Jamie Ayres, Tom Griffiths. Hunt's got in a little bit. Oh, it looks like he was going in a little bit too hot there, but it is all on Ewan Bramer to try and hold these cars up to allow his teammates through. Jamie Ayres takes a big dose of turn 4 curb there, and he's managed to survive, and Daniel Hunt has not. He is off track, floored it all the way through, kept it on, and is now still in 10th place. But this is getting to be a battle and a half through these two groups, Zach.
Absolutely. Obviously, PVG is up in front, but this fight continues on. Ralph Cullinan to the inside of Arnaud Chagnon between the classes, of course. But, well, Arnaud Chagnon is not going to appreciate the demotion down to 3rd place, because what it's done is put him on the back foot relative to Steve Pfeffer, and could see the AM leader off of the podium. Steve Pfeffer tucks back into the slipstream, trying to maximise his run through the pit straight. And once again, duck and dive and looking which way they can go. Inside line for Steve Pfeffer. He sends the move. He finds himself now onto the podium. Up 3 places and capitalising off the early chaos and doing exactly what he needs to do on a redemption drive. There's the move. Beautiful stuff from Ewan Bramer. Tom Griffiths follows him through. Ewan Bramer saw the gap, but unfortunately Darrell Wright found the gravel.
Darrell Wright has dropped all the way down to 14th place. Just goes to show how close these guys were for one driver to go off. Mick Barry has taken an excursion round off the into the gravel trap as well. But Ewan Bramer made that move past Darrell Wright, and unfortunately there's a little bit of contact there as well. Arnaud Chagnon is now under attack from Martin Sampson. Sampson's going to go up the inside line. Chagnon not fighting that much, to be fair. Different classes, doesn't really have to. Daniel Hunt, John Sylvester, Carl Jackley, Ewan Bramer, all swapping places going into turn 9. There is this gaggle of cars, 11 minutes remaining on the clock here as well. Elise Main battling down, it's just gone past Ewan Bramer as well. I'm wondering if Bramer got a slow down there, that's why he's kind of hit the brakes so early. But Miles Owens, John Sylvester, Dan Hunt, Jamie Ayres all battling away, and this could turn into an epic scrap.
Absolutely could. I mean, it already has been an epic scrap, so it's just going to get more epica, I suppose. That's the word now. I've just made it one. Boom. Signed and sealed from Zach Sweeney. But yeah, this is going to get awesome, and it's just to ramp up over the course of the next 10 minutes and 30 seconds of racing action. These guys have been relentless, and I'm sure that is going to not change whatsoever. However, Pete Van Gool has lost a lot of time to Ralph Cullinan, so the fight for the lead could well and truly be on. All 3 of them, they're also fighting for it, and it's continuing on here. Jamie Ayres versus Miles Owens, Momo versus, of course, Platinum directly. There's contact just in the background with Daniel Hunt trying to pick his way through. So, well, this fight is getting a little bit spicy, and it's getting a little bit too close for comfort for my liking.
Yeah, Griffith's fastest lap of the race, 55.2. He's tucked up behind Chagnon further up as well, away from what plans to be the main source of the action here, with the Platinum, DOF and Momo all involved there as well. Elise Main leading the pack at the same time, down in 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th and 16th, right the way down to Charles Kellerman at the back end, trying to stay there as well. Elise Main, of course, the Lioness, the American, trying to push her way forward up through the field, but it's got about a 2.4 second gap. Mick Barry again going off through the gravel trap, not really making the best use of his track limits on that one. But Chagnon has now got a decision to make. Does he pull over and let all of these group of 5 pros through, or does he try and fight? And at the moment, I think, to be honest with you, Zach, he's doing the right thing, trying to get that car out of the way. He's on the brakes, he's shown Daniel Hunt what his intentions are. Hunt's got to pull out though, because Chagnon backs right off. He doesn't want to be involved in this, he doesn't need to be involved in this, but Daniel Hunt's making him a part of this. This could be ended up in a major collision going down into turn 1. We've got an AM who's trying to move out of the way. You got the pros trying to come through. Chagnon manages it well there, Zach, and that could have been a complete natural disaster for these guys.
Absolutely. Obviously, I don't blame Chagnon for staying out of fights that aren't necessarily his, but also the point system is linear. It's not 2 separate point systems for the pros and the AMs. It's one long list of grid, and if Chagnon was able to finish 5th, he'd have scored more points than he is in 11th. Yes, of course, he's still leading the way in the AMs, but he would have scored more points if he was able to stay in front. That's how I would approach it. There's the move. Steve Pfeffer incredibly late on the brakes. Fortunately, the Irishman of Ralph Cullinan sees him coming. They continue to go side by side through the pit straight. Steve Pfeffer with a sensational dive bomb into turn number 9, but fortunately, it was clean and it was targeted, and it was very, very much calculated as well. And well, obviously, as the track tightens up towards the apex, if you put a car on the inside, the car on the outside really hasn't got much of a choice but to give you some space. Great respect between the pair of them. And now, what is important is now Momo 1-2. They're really starting to bounce back after race 1.
Yeah, we've got Platinum, Miles Owens 7th, 8th. And then Bramer down in 13th. Bramer needs to get a little bit of a shift on. At the moment, he's down 6 places from where he should be as well. And unfortunately for Ewan Bramer, it's not good enough. He needs to be getting up further up the grid there to give these two boys a hand as they're chasing down the third at the moment, which is Jamie Ayres. Further back, Ewan Bramer, as we're talking about that now, is just about to try and go 3 wide with Darryl Wright and Elise Main. He doesn't this time. He's got to be more aggressive. You've got to follow Darryl Wright through and get past Main, and he has done, but now he's got to tuck back in as well. You've still got, you can close it off. No, you can't anymore. The door's shut and Main's alongside you. You had that moment there to try and block off that run. Unfortunately, didn't get on it quick enough, and Ewan Bramer on the right hand side in the platinum red, white and black, of course, goes up the inside into turn 1. This time he closes her off, and this time he shuts the door, but he had that, didn't really need to make it as difficult as that. He had that option coming out the last corner, and he just didn't do it quick enough. But Steve Hefford still battling away with Ralph Cullinan here for 2nd and 3rd, with Martin Sampson coming up the back end in 4th as well. It's getting tight. Pockets of battle starting to appear. Zach, 6.5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, obviously it's going to be a monumental final half. This is where the tension starts to rise. The first half, sure, you know, you swings and roundabouts. There's a slowdown for Ralph Cullinan, pulls over to the right-hand side of the circuit, loses the podium places to Martin Sampson. That is crucial for him, and loses a lot of time to Tom Griffiths as well. But yeah, obviously, you know, the first half of the race, things swings and roundabouts. You know, you make a move, you get overtaken, you have that a back and forth. But now the track position really starts to mean a lot more than it did in the first half. So this is where people are going to start to make those crucial moves, start to make those sends, and crucially for Ewan Bramer, fight his way back up the field. He's got to try his absolute best in order to do so, but obviously he's not got long left to do it. And he's got to find his way past Dylan Wright, 1 second up to Anya Chenier, and that's before he even gets back onto the back of the next pro of Carl Jacklett. So yeah, Ewan Bramer's definitely got his work cut out for him over the course of the rest of race number 2. But fortunately, I don't think Dylan Wright's going to put up too much of a fight.
Yeah, I think Darryl Wright there is not going to try and fight him as hard as possible, and Ewan Bramer does go through. Ralph Cullinan now battling away with Tom Griffiths. Griffiths tucked up right behind him is currently at this moment in time as well. And if you're wondering how close, well, he's that close. He's pulled out, ready to go now. And Griffiths trying to make the move up the inside, doesn't get it done. He shuts the door on Jamie Ayres. That was more vitally important. Doesn't allow Jamie Ayres through. Ralph Cullinan is just there. The Irishman himself is now at the front of a field of 4 quick guys coming up behind him with Miles Owens. John Sylvester's about a second gap back at the moment. I'm expecting that gap to close. The longer Ralph Cullinan is out in front of him at the moment as well. These pack can come together, and they are slowly coming back. Griffiths is now trying to make that move around the inside, coming up to turn 9. He's on the left in the blue. Ralph Cullinan on the right. Here we go, turn 9 now. Griffiths makes the move, and he is through. Is Jamie Ayres going to try and follow? Didn't quite get the run that time, Zach, but I don't think it's going to be long before Ayres is trying to make the move as well.
100%. Packs like these always start to materialise themselves one way or another. Short fuse, all it takes is a spark, and boom. And this might be it. Ralph Cullinan looking to the inside of turn number 1, slows himself down, but Tom Griffiths under a little bit of pressure, bunches the pack back up, and this extends all the way back down to 7th in the fight with Miles Owens. John Sylvester, Daniel Hunt not too far away either, let's not forget, so they could very quickly find themselves into contention with, well, not very long left to go, let's put it that way, in terms of race number 2. So people have got to start getting themselves into gear, start finding little extra bits of time that they can, and pick their way through this fight one bit at a time, because as close as it is, there's a big difference between 2nd place, or well, in this case 3rd place, and well, all the way down towards the back end of the field. And there's the move from Jamie Ayres to the inside of Cullinan. They're continuing to go side by side, and well, there we go. This is once again going to very much bring a span into the works as, oh, there we go. Good move from Ayres.
Yeah, Owens is trying to make that same move past Cullinan as well. He kind of almost needs to get past Cullinan to be able to get Sylvester into the show. Owens later on the brakes, takes the nose off Cullinan there, drops down the hill through turn 2, comes into turn 3, hard on the brakes. Sylvester's now closed up to the back of the Irishman himself. He's going to have another go as well for the PRT team, and John Sylvester trying to carry in as much speed through that chicane on the run into Clark. Turn 7, the right-hander, quite fast-paced here, and not much speed lost, but he's got to get up the inside for turn 9, really. Cannot hang out on that outside line. We've seen it loads of times this evening, Zach, and it just hasn't worked. The inside line seems to be the 9 to be in turn 9.
It does indeed. I mean, obviously, naturally, that's where you want to be through any corner. I mean, the outside can work if you can keep the revs up and keep that minimum speed up all the way around, but eventually it is going to give you, again, the outside for turn number 1, which is definitely not where you want to be whatsoever. So everyone's queuing up behind Tom Griffiths once again, this fight for 4th, and every time they get up on 2 wheels, every time it makes me think they're going to go and tumbling over into the gravel trap, but fortunately these cars are stable enough not to do that, and well, it's just the nature of Knockhill. That's how the beast is tamed, as you climb your way uphill completely, well, almost a straight line as you can get it. That's the quickest way through. There's Daniel Hunt once again a little bit wide going through the exit as they work their way through the right. Then obviously this long left-hander, that's not really left-hander but not really a straight either, and then to round off the lap into turn number 9. Are there going to be any changes? I'd say no, because no one seems to be quite close enough. And then they're very brave on the brakes like that from John Sylvester, having a bit of a look. That bunches everyone back up, and well, once again they spread out just a little bit as they exit now through the pit straight for the exit turn number 9. And well, John Sylvester, he's got to work it out for him if he wants to slowly but surely pick his way through this pack.
Yeah, Sylvester's got to be looking at the inside of Ralph Cullen now. He needs that door left open. He has done. He's got the door open. Is he going to go down Route 1? He's not. Cullen's going to make it down in front of him in 2 and turn 3. Sylvester's got to try and stay close enough. He really wants to put a car in between him and Daniel Hunt. These two are at the top of the championship as well. This is where the points mattered. This is where John Sylvester needs the points over Daniel Hunt. He needs to keep him behind him. He needs to stop him. He's got Ralph Cullen and the Irishman himself in front of him. He needs to go round him into 9. He looks like he's going to have a run. If Cullen does not defend that inside line, I'm sure Sylvester will take the opportunity. Cullen's positioned his car like he's going to. He's still left the door wide open. Here comes Sylvester through now into 9. He's going to have to try and get the run out of 9. Cullen's going to try and make it work. He's going to get a helping hand from Daniel Hunt very, very shortly. There's going to be a little bit of rubbiness there on the way down the straight. Oh, there's no gap at all. White flag lap here. We're on the final lap of the race, and they're going to try and go too wide into turn 1. How is this going to work down onto the drop down of 3? Is he going to make it up? Can he hold the inside line, John Sylvester? Hunt's off on the gravel again. They're going to be side by side. Oh no. Oh, Hunt's got the run. I thought they were going to be side by side into the chicane there, and unfortunately it didn't. Samson's gone. Samson's gone towards right on the last lap as well. But it is Griffiths there at the moment. Samson's going down the order faster than the Titanic did, I'll tell you that much. Tom Griffiths, Jamie Ayres now coming into the final run. It's going to be PVG in the pros. Is going to take the victory with Steve Hefford in second place as they come across the line now. PVG takes the victory. Behind that, there it is, Griffiths, Ayres, then the Platinum Racing. Oh, wow. Sylvester down in 8th in the end.
I have to say, what a way to bounce back from PVG and Steve Hefford, by the way. From taking each other out in race 1 to 1-2 in race 2. Obviously, very well done to them. We've seen the last couple of stragglers cross the line. Question in the YouTube chat, obviously, is there any form of active penalties for cutting corners or causing collision? The way iRacing works is that there is a tiered penalty point system. So you get a 1x for small things like leaving the track, say a little bit off the track. You then get a 2x if you spin and lose control, a 4x if you cause a bit of contact, and then obviously that's how it works, and that's how iRacing dishes it out. If you get to a certain amount of x's, say, you either get disqualified, you get stop and go. There's a variety of different penalties that the organisers decide on what can do. In terms of active penalties, if you cut a corner and you gain time from it, iRacing will give you a slowdown, in the sense that you have to lift off the throttle, you have to slow the car down, obviously, and obviously give back the time that you gained from cutting said corner. So I hope that helps. But well, here's how they racked up after race 2. Great result for Momo.
Yeah, PVG in first place, Steve Hefford in second, Tom Griffith third, Jamie Ayres at 4th, Miles Owens 5th, Ralph Cullen 6th, Daniel Hunt is in 7th place, John Sylvester 8th, Carl Jackal at 9th, Ewan Bramer 10th, Arnold Chandonnier again, winner in the AMS, Darrell Wright again, 2nd place in the AMS, Martin Sampson 3rd, Mick Barry took the final podium there in the AMs, Elise Main in 15th, Sir Alan Toon 16th, Steve Hansford 17th, Charles Kellerman down in 18th place, and beyond that we've got Andy Littler and Jordan Syret rounding out your top 20. We are going to nip on to a short break, guys, as we now get ready to change over sessions for race 3 and race 4, and as always we'll see you after this break. Okay, guys, we are back already for race 3. You're still here with myself, James Parfitt, and Zach Sweeney. Any further questions, let us know. We will try and answer them to the best of our knowledge here as well. So hit them up in chat, and we will get back to you as soon as we can about whatever it is you wish to know. Momo 1-2, big comeback after race 1, Zach.
100%. I mean, you know, you saw PVG have that shaky moment in race 1, collected Steve Efford in it. And, well, fortunately, Steve Efford still had the upbeat nature. He still had happy spirits. He was still seeing today as a success. And he translated that into a very good result over the course of race number 2. Him and PVG very, very close throughout race 2, obviously. They closed the gap, but they didn't fight. They worked together. They thought of the overall better objective of trying to consolidate more points for Momo as a team, particularly when Platinum did have a couple of issues. I mean, we saw John Sylvester, I think, down in sort of 8th place-ish, in that sort of vein, right amongst the midfield. So really trying to maximize their points all a very, very important point stall, which, to be fair, they're just trying to maintain the gap more than anything. They've already built up sort of a 250-odd point gap back to Platinum now. And I think rather than trying to extend that, it's more a case of just trying to anchor down and hold it. Not lose any points, but not necessarily pushing to gain any points. But, well, I want to. You can't really ask for more, I suppose.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. They can't really do a lot more apart from go out and race 3 and do it again.
Exactly.
Let's see how that one gets on. We are just waiting for the remainder of the cars to join the session before we advance the session, of course, into the next one as well. How's Arnold doing? And hello from Lanzarote. Well, Mr. Haddington, your boy, Arnold Chonier, has taken 2 victories in a row in race 1 and race 2, with Darrell Wright second in both. The only change was Jordan Syrett got third in the first race, and Mick Barry got third in the second race. But overall, 2 victories out of 2 for him, and he drove really well in race 2 as well. Managed, well, what could have been, Zach, to be fair, quite a scary situation for anyone in that position.
100%, but in all fairness, so did most people over the course of today. There's been a lot of scary situations, but obviously in the case of Chonier, he was just like, yeah, nope, not for me. I'm getting out of this. It's not my fight. I'm just going to go to the back of it. You guys do your thing. I'm still going to win in the AMs and still get as many points as I can. It's not necessarily a decision I would have done with. And again, people are saying, well, he's in the AMs, he's fighting pros, but you've got to get the points that you can get. Even if he finished ahead of one of them, it's an extra couple of points that he's got that Darrell Wright doesn't. It is going to help him, particularly with sort of how close some of the AMs are. And it's opportunities like that where the AMs are put in places that they can score well. They have to capitalize on it. But I think in terms of getting to the end of the race, it probably was the better call to have for Chonier to be able to say, yeah, still got to the end, still got a decent amount of points. And in his head, that's probably all that matters. It's better to finish ahead of your rivals than to not finish at all, I suppose.
Exactly, and that was one of the things there as well. That run down into turn 1 where he had all of them out pros around him, it could have been drastically wrong. He took the outside in 1, they all went up the inside, and he managed it coming down the hill through 2 into 3. Really, really was a great way of dealing with traffic. If anybody wants to sit back and learn how to deal with it or how to deal with faster cars, go back and look at that moment there as well from Chonier, because he did manage it really, really well. He was making the moves to the left-hand side to get out of the way as well, and he did an absolutely stunning job. And that, as you say, has resulted in him 2 wins tonight so far. Still leading the championship, of course. He's still at the top of the AM fight as well. So incredible from him there as well. Mr. Haddington, enjoying your trip out in Lanzarote. How long are you out there for, sir? That can't be. Is it raining out there at the moment? My good missus has been spending a lot of this week on the weather, because obviously we go to Spain in, 4 weeks' time. And she's been constantly updating me on the weather. She's like, it's raining today. I'm like, okay. Yeah, sun's going to come out later though. All right, love. It's been a bit of an interesting time with my wife there as well, talking about the weather out in Spain currently. So yeah, let me know. What is it doing? You're out there till Saturday. All right, well, that doesn't help me with the weather, but thank you very much for telling me that as well. So there we go. But we should be advancing the session very, very shortly as we get onto the grid as well. 30 degrees, I'm going to presume. So there we go. Quite hot then.
No, but yeah, especially for us in the UK.
Mate, I can't wait to get out there. I'm not going to lie. I can't wait to go out and sit out in the sun, just to feel the sun. You know what I mean? Just to feel it.
In the UK, yeah, but especially you, you're a very, very hardworking man. So I remember you saying your missus is just going to take your phone. You can have it for an hour, then it's
that's literally what she's going to do as well. Have a great holiday. I will do. I don't know if that's directed at me or Jace Haddington, but either way, I'm sure we're going to both enjoy ourselves, Miles. So thank you so much there, mate. But yeah, a week, 5 days in España on the 22nd. Don't forget, guys, as well, we have... Biggles did come up with this wonderful idea of me doing a food review while I'm out in Spain. If we hit 1,000, JPB vlogging out in Spain. If we hit 1,000 subscribers before I go on the 22nd. Now, I would like to announce that yesterday we put out that we hit 900, and we've been about 5 minutes of it at 900. We're already up at 910. So I think I've got this scary moment. I could end up having to do our vlog. Now, I did tell the wife tonight as well. Let's just put it this way. there wasn't a smile on her face. I'm just going to tell you.
Sure, she's not going to appreciate a camera in her face when she's trying to scran down her chips. Let's put it that way.
Chips in Spain. Come on, Zach. You could have been a little bit more imaginative there. Paella or something. I don't know. Or is paella? No, paella in Spain, isn't it?
Fajita is Spanish or is that Mexico? I don't
Mexico.
know.
Oh, good
I don't
blimey.
know then. I don't know Spanish food, I'll be honest. My diet consists of McDonald's and Chinese, so.
Well, there we go. What more could you ask for? There from young Zach Sweeney. He won't be able to tell you anything about connoisseur of food, but he'll just tell you the best place to get your fast food. So there we go. Martin Sampson is on pole. Bramer second, Hefford third, Main fourth, Kellerman fifth, Owen sixth, Ayres seventh, Syra eighth, Van Gaal ninth, Hunt 10th, Alan Toon 11th, Mick Barry down in 12th place. Beyond that, Cullen, Jacqueline, Littler, Hansford, Sylvester, Wright, Chagnier and Tom Griffiths. I'm sorry if I sped read that, but they're on the grid already, near enough ready to go. And we're going to have Martin Sampson sitting on pole. Sampson's had a good night of racing so far. Let's hope he can maintain this one going into race 3. All the cars are on. The lights are going to be coming out now. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And away we go for race 3. Martin Sampson got an absolute flyer. So did Ewan Bramer. Steve Hefford as well, managing to hold on that position away from Elise Main as they all come down into turn 1. There's Hefford, there's Main. Main's on the grass. Main's on the grass. Can he keep out of the barrier? Yes. Oh, Sampson's off as well. Oh,
Wow.
no.
And they're 3 wide going through into the next sequence of corners as well. Look at that sideways from John Sylvester. Tom Griffiths as well. Getting a little bit out of shape. Very, very chaotic start here for race number 3, as it always is. Ewan Bramer leads. Steve Hefford second. Jamie Ayres third. Then comes Charles Kellerman and Miles Owen, your top 5. But here we go. Here's a good little fight to sink our teeth into. Ewan Bramer and Steve Hefford. Platinum versus Momo in a direct fight between the pair of them. Jamie Ayres, though, making up the rear of them. Ewan Bramer might be starting to feel a little bit shaky here, in the sense that he's going to start feeling a little bit isolated. There's some moments in the back of the shot as well, as Charles Kellerman versus Miles Owen, Pete Van Gaal into the mix as well. But I have to say, the start just getting more chaotic as the race goes on.
Yeah, definitely. Main and Sampson there off in lap 1, literally by the time they got round into turn 2. Main went off now, went across the grass and just unfortunately had no control, kept it out of the barrier, which was always great. So hopefully he'll be able to come back on track and get going once more. Ewan Bramer, Steve Hefford are going to be literally, whoa! Right at that moment we see Steve Hefford going around that corner absolutely sideways with Jamie Ayres. It looks like it's Alan Toon is dropping down the field. Unfortunately for him, he's gone off what looks like what could be with Jordan Syret, but it is Steve Hefford, Jamie Ayres now with not Miles Owens, Ewan Bramer this time around into turn 9. There's been another man off as well. Ralph Cullinan has jumped into the pits. He looks like his night is done and dusted. PVG, Daniel Hunt side by side going around turn 9 as well. On this rundown once more, Zach here at Knockhill. Mick Barry's gone round at the back. Mick Barry's done more pirouettes than a ballerina this evening, unfortunately for him. And he has gone round again there as well. But Ewan Bramer, Steve Hefford, Jamie Ayres, Miles Owens. Oh, Bramer needs help. Bramer needs help from Owens or Sylvester. He needs help from somewhere, Zach, because look who he's got behind him.
100%. They're 2 people I would not want behind me. So Miles Owens needs to buck up his ideas and get onto the back and start helping up his teammate. You know, make up the risk, sandwich the 2 Momos together, force their hand a little bit, put some pressure on Ayres, put some pressure on Hefford, and try and make them start thinking. Because right now, all eyes are on Bramer. He is the one being hunted. Owens needs to start hunting and get onto the back. As here we go, Steve Hefford looking to the inside as they run their way in towards turn number 9. The fight has already begun. Ewan Bramer stuck on the outside, no movement from Ayres. The very wide sweeping line potentially to get a nice late apex for Ewan Bramer to get the run back again, giving the toe to his teammate though. Steve Hefford gives the run to Jamie Ayres. Bit of fighting in the background as well, but Ewan Bramer gives the squeeze, but squeezing his way through does the Welshman. Now he's got the inside line going in towards turn number 1. Could it be yet another Momo 1-2? Outside line contact! Oh no! Ewan Bramer off, Jamie Ayres off as well. Oh my goodness me, that was most certainly one way for that fight to end.
Yeah, Bramer and Ayres, they were 3 wide further back as well. We did try and catch it, unfortunately we didn't. But Jamie Ayres and Ewan Bramer unfortunately now are off. I want to have a quick look back about that one as they come through turn 1. Here we go. Ayres is on the left-hand side, car number 46 there. Oh, there was contact on Hefford from Ayres as well. Oh, Oh, that could have been horrendous for the two Momo boys.
It was, yeah, fine stuff. Very fine margins. But, yeah, obviously the car's going through turn one. Very, very fast corner. Dipping downhill. If that was any later in the corner, probably would have had a different story with Steve Hefford off as well. But here we go. Here's Ewan Bramer already on the counter-attack and already fighting his way back through. Inside line on Charles Kellerman. Moves his way up into 5th place. Nice stuff, of course, from the Dutchman. Was already trying to fight his way back through. But, yeah, that could have been a very different story. The contact to Hefford probably slowed Ayres down a little bit, which then sort of hindered his momentum, sort of a butterfly effect. He hit Hefford, which slowed him down, which then Ewan Bramer swooping around the outside probably put him in a different position relative to Ayres that caused a bit of contact. Oh, wow, there's Charles Kellerman just left-hand down in off the exit of turn number 6 or 7 and well, found himself into the barrier. That was a very peculiar instinct because it seemed to be just all by himself and it seemed just the car had a mind of its own and wanted to go have a look at the barrier.
Yeah, I'm going to put that down to netcode, right? And the reason I'm going to say that earlier on, before I've even looked at the incident, is that drastic movement to the left. Elise Main trying to come back through. Oh, Elise Main and Andy Littler and Jordan Syrep there going into each other. So unfortunately for Main and Littler, they've come into contact as well. But if we have a look at Charles Kellerman, it almost looks like here there was a big old dose of something, because he kind of just got straight left, unless there was just a natural disconnect. Yeah, look.
Oh my God. I feel so bad for Charles Kellerman, but did you see how the wheel just turned?
Yeah.
It was like, that's hilarious.
It was like an instant disconnect, wasn't it? The wheel
Like
just went boop.
Do you know in cars when Lightning McQueen and he's driving on dirt and he suddenly turns left and he ends up going straight on into the cactuses? Yeah, that's what reminds me of it. It's exactly what he just did. That was brilliant. Obviously very unfortunate for Charles Kellerman, but I couldn't help. That was just too funny.
Well, you can tell Zach's got brothers and sisters that are younger than him knowing about Lightning McQueen, but Carl Jacklett has got John Sylvester now making a move on the inside. You've got to kind of either give him room or relinquish the place before you drop down into turn one. You have done this time around. Carl Jacklett, they're losing that place to John Sylvester. Sylvester now trying to fight with, going to be trying to fight and get up alongside his teammate Bramer. Jamie Ayres is off. He's trying to defend like an absolute trooper from Tom Griffiths. These two pros here as well, fighting away. Darrell Wright currently leading the AMs. Arnold Chagnon about 4 seconds back from him at this moment in time, trying to get hold of him currently as well. Chagnon, see 2 victories out of 2. And let's see how he gets on. But Jamie Ayres, Carl Jacklett here. Not Jacklett, Tom Griffiths, sorry, fighting away. But for Steve Hefford, Miles Owens is coming. He's coming strong. Can he bully Hefford up that inside line? Hefford's gone defensive earlier on. They're going to drop past the exit of the pit lane. Hefford on the left, Owens on the right. Owens is going to go, blimey!
He actually just did that. I didn't miss that. I'm not dreaming as to the move that Owens has just pulled off. That he did that, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Literally. USB issue, says Charles Kellerman. No netcode yet. We've watched it back there, Charles. It did look like you just turned instantly left, which was very bizarre. I think I've just watched the move of the evening there.
That is one for Owens and his replays. That is straight into the bank, and fair play to him. Very much committed and very much on the limit. Obviously, respect to Steve Hefford as well. It takes 2 to tango, let's not forget. And Steve Hefford gave him the space to allow him to do that move. And here we go, we've got a bit of lap traffic. This didn't go too well last time. We had a 4-way fight. Well, this time it's for the lead. The stakes are a little bit higher as we approach halfway through race number 3. Miles Owen works his way through. Steve Hefford might get the worst end of it and might put him under pressure from Daniel Hunt. It's slowed him down. It's opened up the inside for Hunt a little bit. Is that going to open the door for the championship leader? Not on this particular occasion, but what has done is opened the gap between Owens and Hefford. This is Platinum's statement in return.
Yeah, Owens still out in front now. 8 temps, Littler, just lift. Here we go, John Sylvester. Yeah, Sylvester's ahead of Bramer and is now trying to get onto the back of Van Gogh. We've got 6.5 minutes there as well. 2 wheels, same issues, says Charles Kellerman. Yeah, your wheels did look a bit peculiar. We're not going to lie here. They did just turn instantly left, which was really quite impressive from our point of view. Probably not so much for you if you've got a direct drive wheel and you had hold of the steering wheel. That wouldn't have been nice.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ow, yeah. See, I've got my belt-driven thrustmaster, so I'm all good if I crash. I don't snap my wrists, but yeah, direct drive, that sounds scary to have a crash. So I hope he did just let go as soon as he realised, and I do hope your wrists are still intact, because it's a shame to lose him over whatever happened, yeah. But anyway, we're back to the fight for the lead still. Steve Parfitt hovering that gap as close as he possibly can. A little bit wide though, if in doubt, flat out. Doing a bit of rallycross here at Knockhill. That's going to invite Daniel Hunt through. Steve Parfitt is still off and he's continuing to go off. Oh no! He's found the barrier. He's rid it all the way around. NASCAR style, unfortunately, it's not really worked out for him. That is Steve Parfitt completely out of control and well, completely out of race 3.
Yeah, unfortunately though, that's the problem when you're trying to keep your foot in, isn't it? Because, you know, keeping your foot in anywhere has got to be dangerous in its own right. And Parfitt did try and keep his foot in, trying to get the car back on to the track, and didn't quite make it work this time. Alan Toon lifts and allows everybody through. He's lifting still and allows Daniel Hunt to go through. So, and then moves out of the way, but tries to move out of the way for PVG. He's asked him to go around the outside. He has done. There we go. Traffic management from the back marker. Well done, Alan Toon. Great job from you. Get on your way, son, and let them through up the next straight, probably, where you're going to be caught again. But Jamie Ayres there, Tom Griffiths, that's how you kind of manage the traffic when you're at a very tight circuit like Knockhill. You sort of let them go before you get into corner entry, of course. But these guys fighting away, as is Owens and Hunt here. 4 minutes remaining.
Yeah, not long enough to go whatsoever, and the fight for the lead is boiling down to this. We've got 3 drivers from 3 separate teams. Pete Van Gool making up the rear end of the podium. They are very, very close, and Miles Owens is searching for victory here in Knockhill after what has been an up and down evening so far for a lot of people. Looking to the inside, Daniel Hunt trying to knock Owens off his game potentially, just to sort of say, no, you know what? Yeah, I'm in your mirrors. I'm putting you under pressure, mate. Be careful. Don't mess up. Also, you've got your championship rival of Pete Van Gool just in behind you there as well for your team. So don't mess that one up either, Sunshine. And we're just trying to really put the pressure on. Unfortunately, the pressure's got to himself. And, well, that's going to close in Pete Van Gool. Dirty tyres going the way of Daniel Hunt as well. Well, there we go. He tried to put some pressure on. And, oh, wow, what's happened in here?
Jacqueline and Ayres. Jacqueline and Ayres there. This is what's happened. Did Carl just get on, or was that kind of trying to make the move on the back marker? Yeah, Jamie Ayres carried it.
You could see that coming though, couldn't you? You knew that was coming one way or another. And yeah, obviously with the back marker, awkward place, and obviously no really fault for anyone other. I don't know, maybe Ayres was going in a bit too hot, probably could have gotten away with slowing it down a bit more. But yeah, either way, it's Knockhill. You can't be doing that almost 3 wide through the most single file corner on the circuit. There's no way you can get, you know, barely 1 car through, let alone 2. That's very wide. Daniel Hunt, oh my word. Oh no. Daniel Hunt, he's off, and off the podium as well.
Yeah, lap 13 for Hunt there on the exit of turn 6. Daniel Hunt went off, and unfortunately, he looked like he just carried too much speed, either hit the brakes or tried to steer away from Miles Owens, and that was the result for Daniel Hunt. There, straight off track, and off he went. So, unfortunately for him, not looking good. Darrell Wright and Arnaud Chardonnay. Darrell Wright leading the AMs, of course. He's got about an 8-second gap back to Chardonnay, so he's safe for a minute. I don't know if it's going to be 3 out of 3 here for Chardonnay. He's got a massive task on his hands. So, unfortunately for him, it's not looking too good. Carl Jacqueline, Jamie Ayres back together once more. We saw how this first fight turned out. Hopefully this one won't turn out the same here. Hunt's pressurising Jacqueline. He's got to be looking at the inside, surely. That's Ralph Cullen coming out the pits with about 2 minutes remaining. And nothing doing currently at this moment in time. Miles Owens still under attack from PVG. There is a back marker there as well, Jordan Syrett. So he can help Miles Owens, give him a little bit of a draft, and then kind of lift and allow them through. And he does do. So well done to Jordan there. Another great, how can I put it, an example of dealing with the faster cars in front of you. So there we go. Well, coming into the penultimate lap here, Zach. It's all going to be on what PVG is going to do.
Absolutely. You know, this is where the tensions are at their absolute highest. Two drivers, two teams, two championship rivals as well, but only one victor for race number 3. Miles Owens has pretty much been in control all the way through, but with one lap left to go after this one, and, well, undoubtedly a titanic fight to go with it. Hopefully it doesn't end in catastrophe, because here we go, side by side. Owens forced to defend into the final corner. Very late on the brake is the Dutchman. He's going to try and sweep his way around the outside. Has he got his foot to the floor first? He has, but Owens covers it off. Now the white flag will be waved. Barney the flag man will definitely be having a good old wrist workout, waving that white flag, and then the checker flag, but continuing to go side by side go our two leaders. Owens trying to give Van Gaal the squeeze, pulls out late to the left hand side to open up the corner, but PVG takes the lead.
Yeah, final lap of the race there as well. It looked like Owens was going to try and do what he did on Steve Hefford. PVG a little bit more savvy to it. And he's now maintained the run here. Is this going to be PVG again? 2 out of 2. Coming in to turn 7. Up through Clark they go. It's going to be the final lap, the final corner. This time, Hansford does move to the side. Owens trying to go around the outside. Is he going to try and cut back? He's got to get on the gas early. It's going to be a run down to the line. It's going to be a run down to the line. Here we go. Who's going to get it? Owens is in front currently at the moment. It's on the way down. It's Miles Owens. Takes it over PVG. What a run down to the line from Miles Owens. Carl Jacklett, Jamie Ayres, Arnaud Chagnon all involved in this as well. It's a 4-way fight, of course. Darrell Wright has taken the win in the AMS, but it's going to be Chagnon who's going to maintain second place in the AMS there as well. Jacklett holds on from Ayres, only just, mind you. So an extraordinary run down to the line there, Zach.
Yeah, basically, Owens did to Van Gaal what Van Gaal was hoping to do to Owens on the penultimate lap. Outside line, late on the brakes, carry that speed through. Get your foot to the floor first, get the power down, and drive on the outside. That's exactly what Owens said. 0.5 of a second in it in the end. That is absolutely nothing. But unfortunately for PVG, it was enough to see Miles Owens take victory. That is a very well-deserved victory, but it could have gone either way. Great race 3.
Miles Owens was in first there. Pete Van Gaal in second. John Sylvester third. Yvonne Bramer fourth. Tom Griffiths fifth. Daniel Hunt sixth. Martin Sampson seventh. Darrell Wright eighth. Arnold Chagnon ninth. Carl Jacklett 10th. Jamie Ayres 11th. Mick Barry 12th. Elise Main 13th. Steve Hansford 14th. Jordan Syret 15th. Sir Alan Toon 16th. Andy Littler 17th. And Steve Hefford down in 18th place. Ralph Cullen 19th. Charles Kellerman down in 20 after he had that disconnect issues. Of course, Charles is in chat. And did say that, yes, he did say ouch indeed. So maybe he did have hold of the wheel at that moment the car went left.
Ow.
Very much so.
No thanks. No thank you.
Yeah, but amazing victory there for Miles Owens on that run down to the line there as well. He pulled an absolute blinder over Steve Hefford with it, well, which could only be perceived as move of the evening. Hefford went in on the inside. Owen had to cut back, and he literally whizzed past Owens. Owens literally whizzed past Hefford into turn 1. Absolutely incredible there as well. So amazing move there. Thank you so much. I hope everybody is well and sitting back and enjoying the racing. We do go into the final race of tonight here at Knockhill and see how this one turns out. But if it's anything like the last 3, should be an absolute cracker, Zach.
It should be indeed. I cannot wait to see how race 4 turns out. It's just gotten even more chaotic as the race goes on. Race 1, perfectly clean start. Race 2, couple of stragglers at the back. Race 3, war zone. Race 4, question mark. What's going to happen to round off the evening? And what championship implications could we have? What fights at the top, midfield, towards the rear end? What fights are we going to get? Only time, unfortunately, will answer those questions. And unfortunately, we don't quite have a definitive answer for you in the commentary booth, but we can make some predictions. And I have to say, James, I think we're asking for more of the same, if not worse. Or better, I should say.
Yeah, we do know traditionally race 4 is a little bit more manic. As we go into the last one, of course. Hopefully they will be able to keep it clean. As you can see there on the sign, if you need to go to the toilet, they're 225 metres to the left, 225 metres to the right of that sign, so you can there. However, that does, looking at that picture, almost lead you across the track. So be a little bit careful. Don't cross in front of cars. It is quite dangerous.
Understandably so. Who'd have thought, right? I mean, there's some protesters that need to get that message, I think, and clearly don't.
Yeah, they did it. They did it at the Grand National as well, didn't they? It was all a little bit bizarre. Yeah, pulled an oopsie.
Pulled a very big oopsie. I'm never living that down, am I?
Well, you started the whole thing, so I'm just going with it.
Oh, I've got a long, long way to go as well till I can hang up my shoes in commentary as well, can't I?
Yeah, and we've got Miles Owens in the waiting booth for us. Miles there. Congratulations on your victory in race 3, buddy. Absolutely stunning move over Steve Hefford in turn 1.
Cheers, boys. Hope you're well.
I'm very good, thank you, mate.
Yeah, turn 1. I braked early and he managed to go a little bit wide, and I just stuck it in the inside. It was quite a good move, I think. Very nice. Yeah,
it was. It was an incredible move for us up here in the booth. We have named that as the move of the evening so far. So well done for you there, sir. It was incredible. But taking a win on that rundown, 0.05 of a second between you and PVG at the moment you cross the line.
I got lucky that back marker got on the way and he couldn't defend me. So I sent it one way, went the other, braked late, and I managed to get the run out the corner, and I just pipped him. So straight after the race, I was grinning ear to ear, and I couldn't believe it. So well happy with that win. Yeah,
I bet you are there, mate, as well. Absolutely, team needed it. So well done, and obviously John Sylvester getting third there, Ewan Bramer getting fourth. So a nice haul of points for the PRT team going into the final race.
Yeah, well, I think we're doing quite well. I've been lucky with back markers so far, so a lot of people have been getting trouble with the back markers, but I've had good luck today, so it makes a change for me, isn't it? Yeah,
there's been moments with back markers. Not gonna lie, they have been, on track, and unfortunately seen themselves caught in, I don't know, difficult situations maybe. It's a tough one. Obviously, we're not on track. So for us to sit up here in the booth is always difficult when that kind of scenario happens there as well. What's the ambition going into race 4, Miles? Sorry?
Well, today I'm having a new perspective. I'm just taking my time and just letting it lie. So, and at the minute it's working. So I'm not rushing. I'm not pushing. I'm just taking it as it comes. So a win would be great, but top 3 would be nice as well. But, get what you get.
Yeah, there you go. As long as you're sensible, that's all that matters. Miles Owens, thank you so much for joining us there, bud. And we're looking forward to seeing what you can do in race 4.
Cheers, boys.
Take care.
Thanks for the stream as always, and see you later.
See you later, mate. Take care. All right. Hold on. Why can't I not move Miles Owens? There we go. Let's drop him back in his chat with his boys there as well. He seems happy, doesn't he, tonight?
As he should be. He's delivered some good results, I'll be honest. So, yeah, there's definitely some uplifting spirits after Sandown last week. But he's on the up here at Knockhill. And, well, let's see what he can do in race 4. Surely it's more of the same because he's carrying that momentum through each race. But we've seen time and time again how very quickly the pendulum can swing the other way.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the interesting one as well. The round and reverse in race 4 could mean that it could be anywhere positioned on the grid. So from his point of view, he's going to have to be a little bit careful there. Van der Rijk, no worries at all there, bud. You can pick up the standings on that link and go and see where everybody currently is. Of course, this is the first of the 3 seasons. Don't forget there is 3 seasons before a final overall champion will be named. Okay, so we will have obviously the mini season champion, but there will be an overall of the pro and AMs, and then obviously the AM who wins will be promoted to pro for next season. So be aware, with the season starting in January in 2024, there could be a new AM champion, a new pro champion. Well, there will be a new pro champion because the pro is not here this time around. Oh, yes, he is. PVG is here. So, yeah, there could be a new one on both sides. So it's going to be an interesting one there as well. Tom Griffiths taking the shortcut before the end of the lap there. You just saw him briefly going through the exit road on the right-hand side. So Griffiths cutting the circuit. So there we go. But we've got a couple of minutes left of practice before we go into the final race. Thank you so much for everybody. joining us. Hope you've enjoyed the racing this evening here as well. And don't forget, we've got the start of the playoffs with the BSC live from Talladega Super Speedway at 1:45 in the morning. That's 1:45 BST there as well. And that is the beginning of the playoffs. The beginning of the playoffs. So 4 races will determine the championship winner in the BSC, starting at Talladega. And then tomorrow, don't forget, we've got the Simability going off at 1:45 in the morning. The LSRL F1 from Gilles Villeneuve. And then on Thursday afternoon, we've got the final round of the Late Night Racing League from Australia. That goes off about 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And then we've got free Thursday evening with the Tanzo Racing Group, TSRC GT3 round 1. And then we've got the Radical Race Series kicking off as well. So a lot of action coming up over the next few days. A lot of important action with championships coming to the end like the BSC, so you can get yourselves involved. There is a lot of racing this week. No fewer than about 16 broadcasts going out this week on the JPB YouTube channel, so plenty of action for you to sit back in and enjoy, from GR86s, P Cups, W12s, SK Modified Series as well, GT3s in ACC, Radicals, NASCAR, Formula 3. It's all going off this week, so sit back and enjoy a lot of the racing here as we go into the last 1 minute of practice there, Zach.
Yeah, I love the variety that we have on JPB. There's so many different things. I've been able to obviously commentate on some things that I probably wouldn't have had I not. And obviously whatever tickles your fancy, you know, there's something for you to find a home here in JPB, whether, as James said, you like your GTs, your MX5s, etc., or there's a perfectly good environment for you to dip your toes into some other pools and sort of see if there's anything else you like. If you're into GTs, have a look at some single seaters, have a look at some MX5s, have a look at some touring cars, you know, branch your spectrum a little bit, because, well, there's always something on the JP Broadcasting YouTube channel. I can't wait for Thursday because the TSRC starts back up again, and it's going to be my 4th season commentating for it. So yeah, they're sort of how I keep my Thursdays occupied, and me and Kelsey are going to have a lot of fun with that, I'm sure, for a new season. But we've got race 4 of the UkSimracers MX5s yet to come up, and well, with 10 seconds left to warm up, it's going to be a pretty darn good end to what has already been a really good evening of racing.
Do you know what I'm surprised about? Looking at the track right about now, see that bit of road that goes through the middle of the circuit? I'm surprised nobody's taken a run at that and seeing if they can get all the way to the end before iRacing turns around and goes, no. You can't go that way. I'm surprised nobody's taken a run and seeing if they can get through. But here we are. We'll just wait for the grid to settle in as well. And it's going to be an all-round front row. Andy Littler, Alan Toon, Jordan Syrett, Stephen Hansford. First 2 rows separated by the AMs. Elise Main, Mick Barry, Jamie Ayres, Carl Jacklett, Arnold Chagnon, Darrell Wright, Martin Sampson, Daniel Hunt down in 12th place. Then Tom Griffiths, Ewan Bramer, John Sylvester, Pete Van Gaal, Miles Owen, Steve Hefford, Ralph Cullinan, and Charles Kellerman at the back there as well. I don't know if Charles is going to take the start, obviously, the grid, because obviously his USB issues with his start wheel there, but it is Andy Littler, closely followed by Alan Toon, out on track for that position at the beginning. That's going to be an interesting one there as well. But here we go, the lights are going to be coming on. 3, 4, 5. And away we go. Andy Littler does get it off the line straight off as well, as does Alan Toon, with Jordan Syrett tucked up right behind him. Here going down into turn 1. Is Alan Toon going to survive this run? He is initially. He's got the first part of the circuit done. Martin Sampson as well. Mick Barry's onto the grass. Oh, Mick Barry manages to hold it, makes it 3 wide going into turn 2. They're all through currently at the moment, but it is the boys from Workguard by result. Andy Littler and Alan Toon out in front there, and Jamie Ayres getting a big old slide on. There's action further back as well. Carl Jacklett has gone round again. Has he gone round as well? And Ewan Bramer and Mick Barry. They're shooting off in every direction. It's like a fireworks display here currently with the amount of cars that are going off, but everybody has, well, mainly still kind of survived.
Yeah, almost 3 wide as the Platinum surround the Momo car. As well, look at that, to the outside, sideways for Hereford. Too much speed through the final corner. I don't know what to think about that. That's a bit dodgy from Steve Hereford. I like you, mate, but that was definitely a bit of a dodgy rejoin, I'll be honest. Back up to the front though, because it's 1, 2, 3 for the AMs. Andy Littler, Sir Alan Toon. Well, Jamie Ayres makes it a pro, getting himself onto the podium. Jordan Syrett, unfortunately, demoted down to 5th. Elise Main onto the scene as well. She's trying to recover, and he's round. Oh no, that is huge for him in this race. And oh wow, yeah, just look, he's just dropped and drunk. He's tied a cement block around his ankles, and he's jumped into the pool, and he has sunk all the way down to the bottom of that timing tower. That's a big shame for him and Sir Alan Toon as well. It seems that no one wants the lead.
Yeah, Alan Toon onto the grass. That's released Jamie Hayes this time around. Elise Main going to go past as well. So Alan Toon down into 3rd place currently at the moment. Jordan Syra is 2nd in the AMs, of course. Tom Griffiths there just about to go up the inside. Jordan Syra takes a wide berth and says, I don't want any part of that. Here comes Arnold Chanyonye. He's trying to make it 3 out of 3. There's the platinum on the grass at the back there as well. That looks like Miles Owens possibly could have been on the grass. He was. And everybody is bunched up in the middle. Tom Griffiths here, Daniel Hunt, Alan Toon still in front. Chanyonye has gone past Jordan Syra. Chanyonye is now 2nd in the AMs. Alan Toon is in front of him, of course, and is trying to hold on to that position. It'd be amazing if Alan Toon holds on to this, I'm not going to lie, and takes a victory in the AMs. It could be incredible. But David Ells, welcome in. I hope you are well, sir. What an action-packed round 4 already, race 4 already, and we have got 12 minutes on the clock, Zach. Incredible.
Yeah, still a long way to go. Here's Tom Griffiths trying to make it 1 extra place. So Alan Toon obviously not really going to fight that one too much. Griffiths to the inside of turn number 9, and well, that's a very, very easy affair. And now his sights are set forward to the podium. Jamie Ayres leads the way. He's side by side as well. Daniel Hunt on the scene. He's trying to pick him off one by one and stay on the scene of Tom Griffiths and continue to put that pressure on. You've also got John Sylvester, Ewan Bramer in the mix as well. All the top guys really are just trying to chase each other through the traffic. It's lovely to see sort of the cat and mouse game that's going on right now, but brilliant stuff. Daniel Hunt up now into the top 5 and going to continue doing that. There's the move from Ewan Bramer to the inside of Pete Van Gool, up onto the curb, nearly touching him as they run their way through. Is that Martin Sampson's off onto the inside as well? There's the platinum car of Ewan Bramer getting a little bit shaky into the chicane of 5 and 6. Oh my word. I have to say, this is just absolute chaos. There goes Van Gool to the inside of Toon, Bramer 2, Chanyonye 2, also working their way past. But, well, yeah, this is just... well, I don't really know what adjective to describe this race, Av. It's been a bit of everything.
Yeah, it is, and Chanyonye is now leading the AMs. It could be 3 victories out of 4 races for Arnold Chanyonye. Of course, the last one taken by Darrell Wright. Chanyonye was in 2nd, but is currently out in front now. Elise Main, Tom Griffiths tucked up right behind her currently at the moment as well. They're in the pink roll bar car there. Is Elise Main, the blue of Tom Griffiths, the looming of Daniel Hunt and John Sylvester and Pete Van Gool and Ewan Bramer. And this is going to be a classic now. Can Elise Main hold on to Tom Griffiths? Can she stop Griffiths getting through? That's going to be the question. On the rundown now, it looks like Griffiths has already got the job done going into turn 7. Can Main hang on for this rundown into 9? Nose to tail currently at this moment in time here. And once more, it is Elise Main and Tom Griffiths going down into turn 9. How's it going to hold on? Main backs out and allows Hunt to go through, which I'm very, very surprised about, because now she's got the PRT of John Sylvester.
Yeah, so obviously not the best way of run of events for Elise Main, but well, she's put herself into the position. She's made a bed. Now she's got to line it, and well, by lining it, she's got to defend from John Sylvester, 2nd place in the championship, coming into round number 6, and well, looking to either close the gap or at least make it stay the same. Him and Hunt have gone back and forth tonight already. Elise Main already under a bit of pressure. John Sylvester forced to go a little bit wide. That's brought in Pete Van Gool onto the scene as well. He's looking to improve his places. There are a lot of people clawing their way back up the field, but right now it's all aboard the main express, and well, queuing up behind them is John Sylvester, Pete Van Gool, Ewan Bramer, Anya Chanyonye not too far off in the distance either, but well, for now the target is Main, and John Sylvester is trying to do exactly that now to the inside. If he's brave enough on the brakes, it should be a fairly easy move. There goes Pete Van Gool looking to straight away follow him through, and that's perfect. Oh wow, Ewan Bramer, that is not how you follow a gap through, and well, at least he's done the right thing as to staying still on the exit.
Yeah, now it's behind Steve Hefford all the way down in 12th there for Ewan Bramer. Griffiths has got Hunt for company. Van Gool has got John Sylvester in front of him as well. Owens is battling away with Martin Sampson. So little pockets starting to develop here in race 4. Oh, Griffiths, wow. He had that car literally on them outside wheels there, Zach. How he managed and didn't break anything, I'll be very surprised.
The suspension working very, very hard today. Let's put it that way. Obviously, when you rise it up, the springs extend, and then obviously you slam it back down again, they shoot back up again. So obviously the dampers are going to be doing a lot of hard work as well as they rise up onto two wheels and slam it back down again. But well, at least he seems to be hanging on in the balance just enough, let's put it that way. But here we go, Pete Van Gool versus John Sylvester, Momo versus Platinum. It's not the first time this evening we've seen something like this, but Pete Van Gool already with a couple of race wins in his pocket, and are looking to make that yet another extra position onto his tally to extend his points all today for Momo, for himself. Is there space to the inside of turn 3? No, there's not, but at least for now, this fight is doesn't seem like it's going to go anywhere.
No, it doesn't. Jordan Syret trying to get on to the back there. Martin Sampson is off somewhere. There he is. He's had a dreadful corner. That turn does not like him at all there for Martin Sampson. And unfortunately, he's trying to get back on track. Is he going to come back on track in front of Iman Bremer? No. Is he going to come back on track in front of Carl Jacklett? No. He stays to the right-hand side. And that is how you deal with rejoins there as well. Ralph Cullen and Andy Littler fighting away. John Sylvester still battling there with PVG tucked up right behind him. I think Cullen's going to come now. Here he goes into turn 7. It's going to be the Irishman. Toon Barry Hansford Kellerman is out currently as well. And we're going to have a look back and see what happened to Alan Toon as he went off track. There he goes into the gravel, comes back round, and whoa! Oh! Was that Jordan Syret? No, it wasn't Jordan Syret. It was the other one. Darrell Wright, and unfortunately for him, he is off there as well. But John Sylvester, PBG not leaving each other alone currently. Daniel Hunt's got a slow exit, mind you, so he could end up being dragged into this battle, Zach, as well.
100%. It doesn't take much at all for things to very quickly shift the other way here at Knockhill. It's been the case for the last 3 races. It's been the case here for the first half of race number 4. The fight for the podium is definitely still on. Daniel Hunt is only a second clear of these guys, and it's not that much of a gap. If John Sylvester commits through a couple of corners and gets into the slipstream, it's then going to close. Pete Van Gool with the fastest lap of the race, a 55.24 rounded, and he finds himself very much fighting amongst some of the top guys. But Jamie Ayres well and truly in control of this race, up at the top of the timing tower. And with 6 minutes left to go, has to be said, it's probably his race to lose. As Griffiths goes in, about a second a lap-ish, he might still be able to have it. There's Pete Van Gool very wide off the exit of 6. And here we go, Sylvester onto the rear end of Daniel Hunt. And we said it wouldn't take much. And here we go, John Sylvester knocking on the door for a podium.
Yeah, he is once more. Of course, took that podium in race 3, finished in 3rd place. He's just about to send it on the inside. Oh, PVG comes in there as well. Absolutely barnstorming hot. Sylvester takes the nose off Daniel Hunt. Hunt's going to try and come back and have the inside line. Here we go for this run down into turn 1. Hunt on the left, the 07 car, 64 for Sylvester. Down into turn 1 they go. They're going to try and go through side by side, are they as well? Nope, Sylvester backs out a little bit. That puts him under attack from PVG currently, and they survive turn 2 and 3 at the moment, but it is all on PVG now. What sort of run is he going to get over John Sylvester, and can he maintain it as well? He's out on the gravel once more here, Zach, but it's getting close between these 3 up front.
Absolutely, a squeaky bum time between all of them. Hunt, Sylvester, Van Gool, 3 fantastic drivers in this championship, and once again going toe-to-toe, this time for a podium. John Sylvester out to the right-hand side for the braking zone of turn number 9. He's going to have that platinum. Bit of a wheel lock as he slams on the anchors, but he gets the move done to the inside. Up now to 3rd place, but Daniel Hunt with the outside momentum gets the swing, and now the momentum goes the way of Daniel Hunt, who tries to squeeze his MX5 to the right-hand side and get his nose into the inside as they run their way over the crest, and once again dipping downhill and towards the braking zone for turns 1 and 2. Who's got the measure going in? It's going to go the way of Daniel Hunt. Sylvester forced to concede. Pete Van Gool sat idle, waiting for his opportunity to capitalise. But as it stands, Daniel Hunt leads Sylvester, leads Van Gool as they have been for the last few laps. But, well, the pressure certainly is on.
Yeah, the only trouble for Daniel Hunt is he can't afford to do that towards the last lap there because he didn't get that run down to the line. Sylvester got it. So for Daniel Hunt's point of view, he's got to try and maintain in front of him going round that last corner. He cannot allow Sylvester to come up because it looks like he just hasn't got that exit speed on the run down. So it's a good opportunity for Sylvester once more, but Hunt is going to lead it this time going into 9. And he does do as they come round 9 now. And then further back, we've got Elise Main, Sean Yonye, Miles Owens, all fighting away there as well. Miles Owens is going to come through, as is Steve Efford. Main's there, pulled over, or got a sort of wiggle on, and unfortunately allowed the guys through in front. But it is Owens and Efford, it's Hunt and Sylvester going down here as well. Efford's got the inside line. We've seen this once already. Is Owens going to try that move he did in race 2? Is he going to try to cut back? Oh, he's almost going to have a go. He's running on the inside. Is he going to send it up the... Oh! I thought that was the inside at 3, but here we go. They're still going at it, Zach. Still fighting there. Hunt, Sylvester and Van Gogh.
Absolutely, it's been a brilliant fight and will continue to be. Great racing up and down the field, of course. Daniel Hunt not going to defend. Pete Van Gogh goes with Sylvester now to the inside of turn number 9. Who's bravest on the brakes? It's going to go the way of John Sylvester, but Daniel Hunt keeping him honest. He's going to get his foot in around the outside. He's trialling and testing that run to the line for the final lap. This time it's worked. This time he's got the advantage, and this time he stays ahead as they cross the line. That's good news to Daniel Hunt. He knows what to do come the white flag lap, but this time John Sylvester looking to the inside of turn number 1. He's going to send the move side by side, gets the overlap. Daniel Hunt gets his nose chopped off, and now the switchback side by side through turn number 3. Daniel Hunt swings his way around the outside. Beautiful stuff from the championship leader. John Sylvester caught with his pants around his ankles, and now Pete Van Gogh is on the scene up the hill through 5 and 6, and once again Daniel Hunt, he knows how to come back at a driver.
Yeah, Sylvester went in way too quick. Through turn 1, dropping down the hill into 2 there. Nearly lost it going into 3, and that allowed Daniel Hunt to get the run out of him, but he's coming again. Here we go again now. 2 laps remaining here as well. Sylvester's going at the inside once more. PVG, I would follow him through. I would follow Sylvester through, but he is in the same voice chat as Daniel Hunt. Is he going to push him along now? Is Sylvester going to hang on to that inside? It's got still just about alongside. He's just about got the right to the corner. Can Sylvester do it? Be late on the brakes. He's now dropped back alongside PVG. Takes the nose off PVG. Hunt still got this run out in 3rd, but... Oh, if this is going to carry on for this lap and one more, these boys are going to come out absolutely sweating.
Absolutely. And I'm sure they already are. Hopefully they've got gloves on. Hopefully they haven't got Alcantara wheel covers. But other than that, yeah, they are going to be drenched. As soon as they pick up, they're probably going to have to tear themselves off their seats after this. Let's put it that way. Only a couple more laps left to go. And once again, John Sylvester looking menacing in the rearview mirror of Daniel Hunt. No movements this time into turn number 9 as PVG decides to hang back a little bit. Maybe with some backwards momentum, gets his foot to the floor and maybe might just have a chance on this final lap. This is what it all comes down to. Hefford and Owens swapping places as well in that fight for 6th. Once again, Momo versus Platinum. One more time for race number 4 of the UkSimracers MX5 Championship. Round number 6 here at Knockhill. It's been a fantastic display of racing action so far. It's continued all the way through tonight. But Jamie as well, you have to say, this battle aside, he's really dominated this race.
Yeah, he's done an absolutely barnstorming race. Jamie Ayres, he's finished 2.6. Hunt's on the gravel. Sylvester's going to give him room going into turn 7. He's going to try and take round the outside. It's going to be contact. Oh, Hunt's kept his foot in. Has that Sylvester's 3rd place just gone? In that one move, he tried the inside of 7. Has he just lost it now? Jamie Ayres has come across the line. He's taken the victory. Tom Griffiths, Daniel Hunt. Sylvester's sideways. He's trying to get onto the gas as early as possible. But it is going to be Daniel Hunt. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And Arnold Chagnon going to come across the line and take his 3rd victory of the evening for Arnold Chagnon. Well done from him. Jordan Syra in 2nd place, and down in 3rd is Darrell Wright, sorry. But it is basically Jamie Ayres taking that victory, and you got to admit, that was just incredible from them guys.
Great respect between all of them. You know, it takes courage to do that. It obviously takes great mutual respect between all of them in order to go toe-to-toe like that. Obviously, none of them wanted to throw away any opportunity they could. They threw everything at each other and still managed to come out unscathed. So that was a great way to top off what was a great evening of racing.
It was Jamie Ayres is your winner by 2.5 seconds. Tom Griffiths in second. Daniel Hunt third. John Sylvester finishes fourth. Pete Van Gaal fifth. Steve Hefford sixth. Miles Owen seventh. Arnold Chagnon, third victory of the evening in the AMS, takes eighth place. Elise Main ninth. Ewan Bramer 10th. Jordan Syrett 11th. Carl Jacklett 12th. Martin Sampson 13th. Ralph Cullen 14th. Darrell Wright 15th. Andy Littler 16th. Sir Alan Toon down in 17th place in the end. Mick Barry 18th, and then beyond that we've got Charles Kellerman and Steve Hansford. But I want to find out, Alan Toon went off, didn't he? And unfortunately he got hit into there as well. Ewan Bramer, I think this is where Ewan did that spin going out of the last corner out turn 9. Yeah, he's just had the opportunity to follow it through, didn't he? Just put too much gas, too much overlock, and then unfortunately spun himself around there as well. So we have got Carl Jacklett in to the booth with us this evening. Carl, good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening. Yeah, I'm sore. My hands are quite raw. That was quite a workout tonight.
Yeah, it is generally, isn't it? You know, it's even harder at Knockhill when you've got such close racing.
Oh, absolutely. It's a real. I can't imagine what this track is like the other way around, because they do race it both directions, don't they?
Yeah, we do. And actually, we do have a reverse Knockhill race coming up here for a different league, of course.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was hard work. I ache.
Yeah, you did have your share of incidents and accidents and a few spins this evening, Carl. You know, give us your perspective on it.
One of them was my fault.
Only one?
In the last race. Yeah, the other two were hits from behind.
Okay.
But very pleased with my first laps. Made huge progress on 3 races on first laps. I think one of them was 6 places before the chicane.
Yeah, it was a very tough evening for a lot of drivers this evening, I think, as well, for some of them. Charles Kellerman, unfortunately, having a disconnect, nearly took his hands off. His wheel just went instantly left.
Yeah, he's been having issues with his wheels.
Yeah.
He even changed wheel and
still nothing.
Did the same.
Yeah. But overall, Carl, not a bad evening of racing for yourself. You know, onwards and upwards, as we say, young sir. Going on.
Yeah, I've enjoyed that.
Next week, Daytona Road.
Daytona Road next week, is it? Actually, I'm looking forward to Le Mans. I know a lot of people aren't.
No, well, you've got 2 weeks' time to go with that.
I've done quite well there before in the MX5.
Okay.
I've had a second and a third in one evening there.
So
we're looking forward to that.
So are we going to say Carl Jacklett's win next week at Daytona, or are we going to say it in 2 weeks' time when we hit Le Mans?
It'd be nice next week, but I think it's going to be Le Mans. Next week's going to be a bit of a heavy week for me, so... it's going to be a tough one there, sir, as well. But thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, it's my birthday next week, so it's going to be a heavy week.
Oh, okay. Well, happy birthday for next week. It's our very own Zach Sweeney's birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be 61.
Yeah.
I'll be 17.
Now you feel old, don't you? But Carl, thank you so much for joining us, bud. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I always give a shout out to you lot, but and the admins and everyone else in the league that makes the league what it is.
Awesome stuff. Well, Carl, thanks so much for joining us, bud, and we'll look forward to having a chat maybe on Monday. Actually, we'll see you then.
Yeah, I didn't make this week. I was feeling a bit down, so I gave it a miss. But yeah, hopefully next week.
Awesome stuff. Well, take care, Carl.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And you.
Yeah. There we go. I did cut him off at the end now. I do apologise. I thought he'd finished, so, you know, that was on me. But that was Carl Jacklett coming into the booth as well. Is that sum it up for us then, bud? One sentence before we go this evening.
Carnage, chaos, calamity, and anarchy. Not quite a sentence, but a few words. So yeah, let's bring on next week.
And you forgot great racing.
Oh yeah, great racing, of course. Yeah, that too.
Come on.
That's in the fine print. It was great racing too, but yeah, Knockhill. What more could you expect?
Exactly. Well, guys, that rounds out tonight's broadcast as well. Vanderick, thank you so much for joining us. Big shout out again to the Rough Riders in the YouTube chat there as well. There we go. I hope that pleases you. Before we leave here this evening, Miles Owens, Jason Haddington, enjoy your holiday in Lanzarote, of course. GT, thank you so much. Another member of the Rough Riders, Low Key there as well. And Geordie coming in once more. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. I'm off to get ready for a BSC NASCAR playoffs kicking off at Talladega at 12:45 BST there as well. So from myself and Zach Sweeney, take care, have a great week, and as always, you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.